Told me it was all in my head, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
According to Encyclopedia Britannica, mountains generally are understood to be larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning.
Meltology 101, baby. Once you see the melted bricks, you won't fall for their lame-ass tricks. Geologist, you're fired.
Larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning.
Boom, baby!
Just how many, quote, natural formations are really just extremely weathered, once extremely large stone-built structures? Maybe there are many stone granite hills, and even maybe mountains that dot our earth, which grand structures of a forgotten people.
Boom, baby!
Encyclopedia Britannica, mountains generally are understood to be larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning.
I'm on the next level, yeah, I know you heard about it.
Motherfucker.
You know I'm bout it, and don't you ever doubt it. I'm incomparable, that's why they staring though. Turn up the stereo, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. See nothing like this, nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all tryna catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la.
Motherfucker.
You like that old school, back in the music, that shit is old news. I'm popping through the ceiling, that's my motto, that's my motto. I lead, they follow. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. See nothing like this, nobody do it like this.
Motherfucker.
I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all tryna catch up to my next level, next level, on the next check it out, check it out, check it out.
All right, guys. I was going to do 3 songs, but I decided we're going to do 2. What's up, Shapu?
Hi, Jen.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Yeah.
Oh,
Not too tired, so it's good.
Yeah, me too. It's a long time coming doing this show. We put it off like 4 different times.
Yeah.
I'm so excited tonight. We got Patty G with
Yeah.
us in the house. She's going to help us with our paranormal activity show tonight. What's up,
Hey,
Patty? How you
guys.
doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm
Yes,
glad to
good.
finally be here live on camera with you guys again. Get this show on the road because
I'm happy
we've
you
been
could
putting it off.
Yeah. Well, things happen, so what can you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of not paranormal activity, but unusual activity happening these last couple of months leading into March Madness. We keep talking about it. It's on its way. It's already, for me, in full swing. And that in itself is kind of paranormal, or what do we call it? Paranormal, I guess you would say that. It's out of the ordinary of the normal, and para means adjacent to or just beside.
Mhm.
So yeah, my normal hasn't been normal for a while now. I've been dealing with a lot of crap. Have you guys been experiencing stuff like that coming up like through January and February?
Yeah, a little bit of stuff for me. Not a lot, but I always have weird things like that happening anyways, but it's kind of about the same for me.
Yeah,
How
for
about
me, it's just normal. So,
normal bullshit?
yeah.
Yeah, emotions running really high. As a matter of fact, I thought I heard some weird stuff. Like the other night, I had a nightmare, and I don't have nightmares. And it was this weird crashing sound I kept hearing in my head.
Oh, wow.
It was like my world was crashing around me. It literally sounded like metal girders crashing down. And it was so loud in my head. I woke up out of my sleep and I thought it was something going on outside.
Yeah.
There was like really not like a dream. It was just this noise. It was so bizarre. So I don't know if that has anything to do with
Yeah,
paranormal.
for me, these kinds of events happens always when not bad things, but when my life is like going sideways, not on my path. But lately, everything's been going really good, so I had none of these experience.
Yeah, that freaked me out. And I'm wearing orange tonight, guys. I never wear this shirt because on my old camera, it looked really weird. I had a really bad camera, and I really wanted to wear it tonight because it's like 80 degrees here. It's full on springtime. I got pollen on my car. It's fucking February. Okay?
Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
I'm going to start practice packing pretty soon, and Stephanie's going to start practicing,
Oh.
too, to see what we have to take. We might have to bring shots.
You might have to. I'm telling you. Like, it was so hot today. So I pulled out the shirt and I said, let me see how it looks on my new computer camera. And it doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look
No, I
weird.
like it.
I'm not an orangey kind of girl. It's like one of these once in a while shirts that I wear, but it's nice and loose and light for this kind of weather.
Nice.
So I don't want anybody to think I'm like 33 Illuminati confirmed or anything. Just like,
No.
Too late. Yeah. No, here it's completely the opposite, Jen. It snowed for 2 days again, and it was really cold. So
Yeah, in Massachusetts, we got snow. We got about 3 or 4 inches last night through this morning. And light stuff, though, it was all right. But it's cold. It's only in the 20s. Oh.
yeah, I don't like the 20s.
70s or 80s. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But that's too soon, isn't it? Even for you.
Oh, it's like a month and a half too soon.
Wow.
Like way too soon.
Jinxie.
We're like getting ready to mow the grass again, and we just
God.
we were mowing it in February of 22. It's just like, and then this whole summer was like a massive heat wave. It was horrible. So I'm hoping it doesn't turn out like that again. But by April, who knows? It could be in the 90s.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I just, it's crazy.
Yeah. We'll see.
So we got a lot of people here. We got 34 people here already. I see Melanie's in the chat. Melanie is a shark. She's like a tiger shark. She's swinging those wrenches at people left and right. You go, girl.
She sure
Take
is.
care of business in my chat. I'm okay with everything. If things go sideways, I know you can handle it.
Yeah.
And Denise Larkin's here. AS is here. Meltdown Under's here. Steffi's here. What's up, Steph? Mark's here. Our Melted Reality.
Hey,
He
Mark.
will be
Oh,
at
hi,
the
Mark.
meetup, guys. He will be at the meetup. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
We got Chainsaw here. Dala's here. What's up, Dala? Tons
Dala.
and tons of little coasters she's made. She sent me pictures of them. She's like, can't stop making them now.
Oh, I have one right here with my tea too. Look it. I have one right here under my cup of tea,
Yeah,
Della.
I
I
love that
love
one.
them. I love them.
I have
So
two.
talented.
It's holding mine.
Ah,
Oh,
see? Nice.
We love you, Dala.
She's so talented.
Yeah,
Right?
and I made a post for her on the groups,
Yeah.
and she's
Nice one.
she's trying to sell them because she made so much. Try to help her a little bit.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, let me know if I can help. I'll drop a link or something, or we can drop links in here, or I can add it into the description box if you want me to help you out with that at all. So we're going to get talking into all this paranormal activity stuff and all our stories. But before we get to that, there was an interesting video that came across my desk here from Autodidactic. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this because it seems some people who were on the meldology train who jumped off are now trying to jump back on. And it's really hysterical because they're trying to now, come around to it, which is great. I'm not going to nitpick, but at the same time, we've been talking about this for 3 fucking years. And, once people start calling us crazy and slinging shit our way and everything, there's a lot of people who jump ship and be like, oh, we don't need that kind of, added pressure in our lives. But we stood firm, all of us. Yeah. And kudos to us for that, because we are true meltologists here on this fucking channel. So I love everybody, but at the same time, maybe a little apology here and there might be okay. I don't need it, but it would be, somebody could just admit they were wrong somewhere along the line. I don't have a problem admitting I was wrong. Shapu, he don't have no problem correcting himself if he's wrong. Why does other people have such an issue with this? They're just like,
I know.
Yeah, maybe he couldn't take the heat at the first, and now we're seeing that more and more people just getting on. So,
and that's exactly it. It's more and more people, more and more of their subscribers across the board on all these different channels and platforms. They're getting bombarded by questions about from people who are subscribed to them and watching our stuff and have legitimate questions and wonder why they're not covering it, why they're not looking at it, because they see it themselves. And if they see it, and other people see it, they're going to question why these people can't see it. It's either you don't see it, you can't see it, or you don't want to see it. I don't know which one it is, but all I know is once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right, Patty?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, you can't not see it. Once you see it, it's there. That's it. I mean, we'll be driving someplace, and if Marty's driving, I just go, oh, look at that. Did you see that? That's all melted bricks. And he keeps just, oh, yeah, okay. But I see it every place.
It's an amazing thing because, like I said, when you realize the Earth's flat, that's one thing, and you're walking across it, really hard to get a perspective to see the flat Earth, even though you're on it. But this stuff, meltology, it's in your backyard, Patty, or at least it was your old house.
It was in my cellar. That's where I started out. It'll be a year ago in March. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember your posts from your cellar. It's just,
and I didn't know what I was really talking about, but I knew that they weren't like that. They didn't build it that way. I knew that. And then I saw bricks here and there and in the melt, and I'm like, why did they put bricks in there? Well, now I know.
Yeah.
Right. It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
When you factor this heat event in, and clearly something took place, it literally all makes sense what we're looking at. And that's just not, people like say you have pareidolia, you just, you want to see it, so you're seeing it. I mean, there's just so many boots on the ground evidence that we've all done ourselves, besides the stuff that we've shown, pictures and drone footages and all this stuff like that, people going into mines. And we're going to get into mines because this autodidactic guy was looking at a mine. And I kind of have a theory on the whole mine thing, which, above ground, if they walk up and they find a building, because you're just going to walk up and be, oh, look, I found a building. Like you find a penny on the ground. You don't got to dig down under the ground unless you really want to go looking for a penny. You just kind of be like, oh, look, I found a penny. It's like, oh, look, I found a building. But when they dig down into the ground to go into these buildings and find stuff, then it's mine. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Above ground, it's found. Below ground, it's mine.
Yes.
Anyway, let's bring up that video if we could, Shapu, and show everybody. you know, if he's getting back on board and he's legitimate and like wants to be legit and you know, do the right thing as far as meltology and represent it the right way, kudos to him. But I just wanted to show people are starting to get on the bandwagon a little bit. They're starting to see brick and melted brick. They're starting to realize that these are structures, these mountains. So that's a step in the right direction, at least.
So yeah, this is the video, but I'm not sure if we could.
Yeah, I don't want to play it. I
Yeah,
just want to
let's not.
show it like right around that part where he's looking on the interior of a mine. It's like right in the beginning, I think.
It's called Questioning Geology, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted people to see, the title of this thing. Questioning Geology, Autodidactic. I have not watched the whole video. Shapu, have you seen the whole video?
No, it's a 5-hour video, but
it's 5 hours.
I saw it pass today, and I said, wow.
So he's gonna do what we always did. He's gonna sit around and look at pictures, okay? Because that's what we've done. We've also done boots on the ground. I'm just saying he's finally coming around to it. Maybe he'll have his own theory on what might have happened and point over at us and be like, oh, they got it all wrong over there. You know what I mean? I don't really care either way. Whatever. Once you see the melt, you can't come back from it. It's like flat Earth. You can't come back from flat Earth and hop back on a ball and start spinning through space. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 5 hours. I definitely didn't. I got like 2 minutes in.
yeah. I guess through everything that we've been through all this time, I guess. You know,
and we've been talking about this for 3 years now, Shapu. I mean, you and I started doing shows in 2022, the beginning of 2022. But when I went to the first Flat Fest that I ever went to, which was 2020. I had already started talking about melted buildings by that point, because I remember my subscribers there where I was asking them all who were meeting me for the first time, how do you like this melted building stuff? And they were really, really into it and were like, wow, this is really something here. What's going on with this? So I know prior to that, I was all, into melted buildings along 2020.
Yeah, because the group is about 2.5 years old, so maybe 3. I'm not sure. The first one,
Well, we're definitely at the 3-year mark for as far as I know. I think Mark's been at it a little bit longer, maybe 4 years or something. Yep, meldology is like your shadow. You can't get away from it. I like that, Mark.
Yeah, you see, look.
Oh, that's Sodom and Gomorrah.
He showed Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And what happened,
Uh-huh. And what I said when we showed Sodom and Gomorrah, if you could pause it right there, I said, well, if they're going to say that this is a melted fucking city right here, what's everything else all around it? Because the further out you go from Sodom and Gomorrah, which they admit is a melted fucking city, turned to dust practically, ash, everything else around it, for as far as the eye can see, looks just like that.
Right.
Yes.
All melted.
Yeah. So, maybe he's come. I don't know what is this video, I didn't watch
Look at
it.
that. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I've never really seen something that looks like just like that. That's pretty cool. Whatever that location is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're starting to come around to realize that these mountains are actually buildings and that they're damaged or heat damaged in some way. I don't know what other theories people would come up with for what this damage is from, but I can clearly see heat damage here, what we've been looking at.
Yeah, because he had on his show people that ridiculized methodology, and said that
they
you
ridicule
were all
it.
crazy, and if you believe that shit, that you should be crazy. But now,
And now they just wake up one day and be like, oh yeah, look, see the brick patterns? This is not sedimentary layers. You know why? Because everybody's been watching us, Shapu. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. And now they have to address it.
Yeah.
So there's
So
that.
yeah, I'm glad at least it's going to spread like wildfire. It already has over this last year. Look at all the controversy it's caused and stuff. So I don't see it slowing down. I see it speeding up, as a matter of fact, and more people to come on to this. And then, of course, the hit pieces and all that other stuff will increase as well. You have to take the good with the bad with this type of topic. We've been doing it for a couple of years now. So I'm kind of got a thick skin to it after all last year, what we went through. That whole fiasco. But I lived in a haunted house for 6 years of my
Wow.
life. It's very interesting. I have quite a few good stories to tell. Patty, you're up in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Now, that whole area, I heard, has a lot of ghost lores and stuff. Different
Yeah,
things.
there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of ghost stories. There's like activity in the woods. There's all kinds of stuff. A lot of UFO stuff going on, lights, orbs, everything. Everything. Yeah.
The haunted woods thing. I mean, of course, people could have been taken out to the woods and killed, and they're haunting those woods. But when you have these large swaths of area that seem to be haunted, to me, I feel like it may have been the building itself that melted down, and maybe people that got trapped in that melt, still there, trapped in that because it's like like Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
It's all around that ranch too, not just the ranch, but that's like the center point of it.
Yeah.
Something
the energy remains. That's what the thing is. And this is really funny because that you brought that up right now. There's something that I really noticed when I go out and I do my own boots on the ground. It can be like in the summertime, it's hot as heck out. There's no breeze or anything. But a lot of times when I get to the structure part that I'm going to film, all of a sudden you hear like wind. Because, you know, the microphone and the phone picks it up right away. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself when it's happening, I'm going, after this, I'm going, there was no wind there. So to me, I think it's some type of an energy field or the magnetism or something is still there underground. Yeah. And when you get close enough to it to try to take pictures or videos of it, it acts up and it gives the appearance on the telephone, on my phone, on the mic, it gives the appearance of wind when there was no wind blowing at all when I was filming. So there's something about that. Yeah, there's something about that for sure.
Yeah.
And there's these dead zones, certain locations you go into where all electronics go wonky and stuff like that. I definitely has to do with something that was maybe in that location at one time, something that's way down deep that we just can't even access. That's maybe even still online, but not working correctly or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about something like that, Chapu?
Well, I believe some residual energy, but from what, you know, I cannot really say. But what I've experienced like many things. But, you know, I don't believe in ghosts. But I've seen things, but I still don't believe because I've never seen what people explain what are ghosts or everything. And each time you hear that story, it's only one person. When you are in a group, there's only one person that can explain what they see. The others saw everything different. So each time it's different. So I want to learn more, but I know some stuff. But I'd like to hear all of these stories. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. So I thought we'd start off with Patty, since she's our guest. Let her start off with some of her ghost stories and paranormal activity you may have encountered so far.
Yeah, I have some pictures. I have a folder of some pictures and stuff, so I can share that too. Yeah. But you're talking about like seeing ghosts and stuff. To actually like see, you know, the terminology, oh, I saw a ghost, and, you know, you're going to picture a big tall thing or Casper the ghost or something. It's not. What I've seen is I will see what I believe, as again, like I said, energy. It's related to energy. The energy doesn't go away. It's if somebody lives in a haunted house, for instance, and you might have activity in the house, you might have, you know, like cabinet doors opening and slamming shut themselves, or stuff falling off of a table. Well, the ghost itself, the spirit energy is there still. And they might want to knock something off the table. They might, it's their house. They might still think they're in the kitchen. They want to go make a cup of coffee, and you'll hear a cabinet open and shut. And it's really not anything to be afraid of. It's nothing like, you know, people will say, oh, it's demonic and it's all of this nonsense. It really isn't. I'm going to give a plug now to my church. I do belong to a spiritualist church, New Hampshire. The Church of Spiritual Life. It's an auxiliary of the NSAC, which is National Spiritualist Association of Churches. So I found the church about 15 years ago, having been brought up like you in a very strict Catholic family. I was questioned everything. And I can remember the nuns in grammar school saying, when I'd say, well, what do you mean it's a mystery? I said, oh, it's just a mystery. You can't ask about it. Oh,
Yeah, you
that didn't satisfy me.
Right.
That's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to know more. So as time went on, I stopped going to the Catholic Church. I mean, I tried the Baptist church in town. I tried the Episcopalian church. I even went to the Buddhist church for a while. I have friends that are Buddhist, and I love chanting because that's really nice. You know, the chanting itself when you're raising your vibration and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I like
you feel good after that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like when you're singing hymns and stuff.
Yes,
Like
exactly. It's raising your vibration. And that makes a big difference because when somebody does mediumship, which I have been blessed to be able to do it. And I occasionally, it's called, I will serve my church in the capacity of doing the spiritual lecture that day, inspirational lecture, and then doing a session. Hi, Mitzi, my kitty, one of my cats, for about 40 minutes or so, doing connecting with the other side. I pray before I do it. We always pray for the highest and the best. We will accept nothing from a lower realm. So that sets everything up right there.
Right.
And I still don't know exactly how it works. It's a strange thing when you do it. I just know that I'm able to key into someone in the church setting. I can do it outside, but I don't believe in doing that because I feel I've been blessed. It's a gift. I only do it for the church. Even when they have a fundraiser day, the money's for the church. Okay. So I would never hang out a shingle or anything like that. That's not me. But you just connect with someone and you know that one of their loved ones is here. And it's not like you go into a room and you say, somebody might say to you, well, I want to talk to my mother. Well, it's not like you can't pick up the phone and call the mother. No, it doesn't work like that. Someone's going to come through that's going to probably provide them with information that they need that's accompanying loving message. You know what I'm saying? It's accompanying for them to know something. So when you do connect with someone, I a lot of times close my eyes because I'm seeing them with my third eye. I'm seeing them in here. So I'll close my eyes as I give the message. It's a greeting, not a reading. It's just going to be short, a couple of things, and say, I have your grandmother here, and she has white hair. It's kind of curly. It's about to here. She had beautiful blue eyes. She has on a print dress. Jed, I'm kind of feeling this might be your grandmother as we're doing this. This is kind of funny. She was a little fuller through the center like this. She liked to wear I'm going to call it a house coat, almost kind of like a dusty, with the flowers, the little prints on them. And her feet bothered her. Her feet swelled a lot. And she has on scuffed slippers. She's not supposed to wear them because she might trip because they're not good to wear. They don't have the heel on them, but she loved them. That's what she wore. Things like that. So I'm not sure who I have here, but it's just kind of popped in like that. I don't know how the connection works. Like I said, I wasn't thinking of you. I wasn't directing to go to you, but it just somebody came in.
Right.
And a lot of times the message will just be something that might have only been something shared by the two individuals. You know what I'm saying? It might have been somebody might say, well, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star might have been the woman's or the man's favorite song. And the person giving the message doesn't know that. I'm being nothing but a battery, like bricks were batteries. I'm being a battery, receiving and passing it to someone else.
Right.
So that's the way that works. So a lot of strange things connected like that. We're connected in so many ways to Shapu, for lack of the better word. You're the one that knows a lot of the terminologies. I'm going to call it the information system that's around for everybody. Yeah. And everybody can tap into it. Yeah. We all have a latent inside of us ability to do so. But we have to work on opening it up. Unfortunately, things that have closed our third eyes, like the things that they put in the water and foods and stuff like that, and in the skies, you know what I mean, is halting people from being able to open up.
Yeah.
So I did go to a lot of classes, sat in a lot of meditation circles over the years. And the first time that I connected with spirit in a circle at the church, it was a Wednesday night. That's usually when we do the classes. And my first husband had passed away. I divorced him, but I mean, he passed away later on, right? But he was an agnostic. He didn't believe in anything. He said, no, there's nothing after you die. I don't believe any of that. So we're sitting in the circle, and all of a sudden was the first time I ever connected like that. I see him in my head. Chuck was his name. And there he is standing there like this. How he was back in the 70s when we met, right? He's got his hands on his hip. He's got long hair, the round glasses that he had on, jeans, and he had been stationed in Vietnam and Thailand. So he had a lot of handmade shirts that the women would make over there. And it was an American flag shirt. And he's got that on in my mind. That's how I'm seeing him.
Wow.
And when I realized it's him, and I just went, oh, and you're quiet when you're meditating. And I couldn't believe I'm seeing him. And all he says to me in my mind is, well, Patty, you were right. Here I am. There is a hereafter. And then he disappeared. It flipped me out when it first happened. I went, oh my God, I couldn't wait to be called on. Does anybody have a message? And I'm like, I do. I got a message. It was my ex-husband.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
All these messages that you say to people or you receive, it's always for you to get past some grief or some bad experience or dramatic event that happens,
Yeah.
to let go of the attachment and things that you need to let go. And sometimes you can do it yourself, or like you help people go through it. And
Yes. What we ask for is a comforting, loving message. And a lot of times people will cry. And the first few times people cried when I gave the messages, I felt kind of bad, but they're tears of joy actually when it happens, because they're just happy to know that their loved one or their close friend or whoever it is that's over there is okay.
We're not taught about the other side. We're taught to fear death. We don't know what happens to them. Are they okay? We just want some kind of clarity. And these are things that we should have been taught this whole time. We're not taught the true nature of our reality, where we live on, what is our true nature in conjunction with the true nature of this reality, because we are lings of the earth. We're earthlings, and we're connected to this whole place. And it's on a spiritual level, not just a physical level.
That's right. I'll tell you something now really quick too. Now, I lost my mother 15 months ago. She was 102. God bless her.
Oh, wow.
102 years old when she passed. I had moved in here. We're living in her house now, but I moved in here with her the last year of her life to take care of it, because she was on her own and I lived a half a mile away. So I was bringing her meals all the time and everything, but she was really okay just the last year, Right. So I used to say to her when I joined the church, she was so funny because when I first joined the church, she said to me, I'd stop in before I went to one of those classes, and she'd say, oh, you're going to one of those classes again? This was something I was going to do on a Saturday, I guess. And I said, I'm going to go to do something for the church. And she was watching TV, and she had on a Harry Potter movie. No, I never watched those, but she had on Harry Potter. She's watching this movie.
Dude, if you're Catholic, you don't watch Harry Potter.
She goes like this to me. She goes, I don't know why they were flying around on their brooms. She goes, I don't know why you want to learn how to do that. And I said, no, Ma, that's not it. That's not what it is at all. The spiritualist church, it's not that at all. And I explained more to her. So as the years went by, she kind of realized her and I were connected. Like I would know if she's going to call me, or I'd know if she wanted something at the store. I knew right away. I mean, I'd call her from Market Basket and I'd say, do you want me to pick up milk? And she'd say, yeah, I was just thinking of that. Stuff like that.
I love it when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah. So she passes when she's 102. And before that, we had always talked about stuff. And I said, Ma, when you do go, you're going to keep in touch with me, aren't you, sometimes? And she said, of course I am. Well, the morning that she died, we went to make all the arrangements and everything. And I came back here to her house where we live now. And I started calling relatives to tell them my mother had passed away. But in the meantime, I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked at my clock and it said like a little after 4:45 in the morning. So around between 4:15 and 10 minutes of 4 in the morning, I heard my name called. It was her. I heard her say, Patty. And I jumped right out of bed and I went, oh, she's in the hospital. That's right. It's, I'm home in my own bed then. So after she passed, that during the night, when she passed, I came over to start calling people. And I made a couple of phone calls, and then something made me look where her bedroom is. There's a clock on the wall before you go in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. And the clock has stopped, and it's 12 minutes of 4. It stopped, and it's not running. And I know it wasn't the clock because I changed the battery 2 weeks before.
What?
And I'm like, right out loud, I said, Ma, that's the time you died. That's when you called my name. You let me know. Her energy or whatever stopped that clock.
Wow.
I was so friggin' amazed. I didn't touch the clock. I left it alone. It stayed at 12 minutes of 4 in the morning. It was 4 of the morning. I left it alone. And about a week later, it started itself. And when it did, it was only about 15 minutes off.
Let me ask you this. That's very interesting about the clock. But when you heard your name called, you instantly recognized the voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Now, was it in your ear or was it just something that you heard? Because I've had this happen to me. And it sounded like the person I don't know who it was, but they yelled my name. They said, Jen.
Yeah.
And
I
I
think
thought it was my ex-husband calling me at the time because I was sleeping downstairs on the couch and he was upstairs. I wasn't comfortable in bed. So I just went, you go sleep on the couch sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I woke up out of the sound sleep. And I don't know who it was. I didn't recognize voice. Just because it was his voice.
Yeah.
And I assumed because I was so asleep that it was my husband calling me at the time, my ex-husband, but it wasn't. He was in bed. I don't know what that was. I've also felt something go past my ear, like wind go past my ear.
That's a very common occurrence.
There's no wind in my room. My fan's not. It wasn't.
Sometimes people will even say they felt somebody sit on the foot of the bed.
Mm-hmm. I felt that after my dogs died because they would always lay on my bed. I felt my dog. My dog would come around the side of my bed and always bump into it and then jump up on the bed. And when he died, people say, well, your brain's playing tricks on you.
No,
You're used to feeling it every night. Yeah. And I swore I felt it. I could feel sometimes him lay up against me.
Yeah.
But I'll look over, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? And I'll just, I get my camera out. And if you put your camera on record, but you don't hit the record button, you just put your flash on, so the light's on, you'll see orbs everywhere.
Oh yeah.
They're not just dust particle, guys. Look at dust particles under a microscope and look at what you're finding on your camera. They're two different fucking things.
I've got a nice one to show.
Yeah, and there is no death. People say, oh, I'm never going to see her again, or I'm never going to see
and
her
our
again.
pets, you'll see your pets too.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. There's no death. What death is just a change. It's no different than I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk through that door and go in another room. That's what it is. You're passing. Your soul, your consciousness continues. It continues on for all eternity. So you pass through, you pass. This body's just a shell. And I think I have it on my Facebook page that I'm a spirit having a human experience. We all are.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So when the body is too old or it's all done or it was sickly, it goes to the next realm. I call it the next realm now. In Catholic school, we were taught heaven is up there, right? Now, I strongly feel heaven is right here. So when our loved ones come through and you feel somebody in your family that's deceased now brush up against you, or you swear that they were right next to you, they were. They want to help us, so they stay close by. They stay close by us. Yeah. It's just another realm, another dimension, whatever you want to call it.
I've listened to near-death experiences a lot lately over the past few months, and most people described it as being seamless. Transitioning from being in cardiac arrest and having paddles trying to shock them, all this pain going on, and they just move right into beautiful, loving.
They don't want to come back. My pastor had an experience. My pastor, Judith Schaefer, had an experience, a near-death experience, and it was only a matter of seconds, but it felt like a very long time, she said, when it happened, a very long time. And then she could feel herself being pulled back. She didn't want to go back. She said, I could feel it. You feel it like a vacuum. You're getting sucked back into your body. And if you have had health issues and you're in a lot of pain, you're back and like you don't want to be. You don't want to be.
Exactly.
But apparently it's not your time. Supposedly we all make contracts before we're born into this life. And something she or he or whoever it is that this has occurred to, Shapu, I know you've had experiences. You still have to continue to do something.
Dude, there's been people that have been dead for 20 minutes that have come back because it wasn't their time and stuff. They're like, nope, you got to go back. And that body, one person was just about to be put into the freezer. They were in the cold room, not the freezer room. And they fucking sat up. The dude who was in the room, like watching the bodies, got up and ran out. And these are near-death experiences. It's just like, it has to be some kind of soul contract. If you're here for 1 million heartbeats and then you're done, whatever that equates to, we have a set time to accomplish what we want to accomplish here. And we must have already contracted that if anything happens between here and there, send me back because I want to finish my job. Even though when we get there, most people say they don't want to go back because it's such, so much different from this hard knocks physical life here where everything's hard to there where it's so abundance of love, joy, happiness, and feeling of being home and not wanting to go anywhere else.
Being home. That's how I felt when I first found this church. I found the thing, I cried through the whole first service I ever went to because it was like I found the same people how I felt, like-minded individuals. And it was like I felt home, for lack of a better thing. I felt like I was home. And I've
Wow.
stayed for 15 years, been active with the church and everything. And it's so different than organized religions that we talk about. That for me, most of them are all man-made laws. They make a law for this. The Pope doesn't like that, so he passes something. I mean, I had it with all of that. I don't go for that. Spiritualism is a science and a philosophy. We do have 9 declaration of principles that we go by. The biggest one being do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the biggest one, really. But the other ones address different things. Mediumship is just proving that life continues on the other side, the continuity of life, which we all believe. I think most of us believe anyways that, it continues. And love never dies. When you love somebody and you figure you're never going to see them again, yes, you will. And they're still right there. They want to help you. People write books through automatic writing techniques from their loved ones. A lot of times they're writing them notes all the time. And then they'll look at it later and go, oh, that must be Jerry. He wrote such and such a thing to me. It's amazing the things that can happen. People can hear, people can see, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentient. You just feel something around you. You might have one gift. You might have a bunch of gifts.
And some people can read your aura and stuff.
Yes.
You can see what kind of state your spirit is in through what type of aura you have. If you're a good person or a bad person, somebody who's bogged down by a lot of problems, but you are a good person. You just don't know how to sift through. This life can really beat you down, and it's full of lessons and hardships and choices. It's all about the choices that we make. This is why we have free will. Right. And, the point is to choose love, because if on the other side, there is no hate. You can never forgive somebody if somebody broke your heart, if you don't know what a broken heart is and stuff. So we come here, as painful as that is for people to accept, but we do come here to learn these lessons.
Right. And a lot of times message will be received through a medium, and the message to the person that they're giving the message to might be, well, just for as an example, like somebody might say, well, I have your father here and he's not saying too much, and they'll describe what he looks like and say, all he wants to do is tell you that he's sorry. He didn't tell you he loved you enough when he was there. And they're bawling their eyes out. And it's like so touching. It's such a healing thing to be said, I first started connecting with spirit in my dreams. And to this day, I still have such vivid dreams. And if it is the other side, it's like, I can't even describe the colors that I see when I'm on the other side.
They say that in the near-death experiences. They're colors that you can't even describe.
No, and they're almost like fluorescent colors, so bright and beautiful. And it's just, my father, one time he came through, and he looks young. A lot of times too, they come through to us when they felt their best. So to me, he looked like he's in his 40s. I mean, here, I'm going to be 70 in a couple of weeks, right? But he looks like he's in his 40s, and he's raking something, and there's a big truck in the dream, and they looked like huge cabbages, but they were like orangey blue and fluorescent. And I'm like, I was like watching, and all he said to me was, well, grab a shovel and help me. And then I woke up. But I fly in my dreams too. That is so awesome, because I just like lift up.
It can be also an out-of-body experience at the same time.
Like astral traveling. Yeah. Yes. And it's awesome, because I go way up, like the trees are way down here. You know what I mean? When it happens, it doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, when I wake up from it, I'm like so disappointed I woke up.
Right. I had a dream where I was not flying. I was floating between 2 cruise ships. I don't know what it means, but I could clearly see these 2 ships, and I know I was above them, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And then I kind of just started going, like, it was like I was on a ride, like a roller coaster through the air. And it was crazy.
You said, Patty, that, sometimes the message comes through someone that comes to you and tells you, but sometimes it's not even a person, You can think of someone, and you go past by something, an ad or a, what you call it, just fucking English. I don't know.
I wish I knew French.
Yeah, just like a billboard or something, written something, but you thought of someone that said the same thing that was written on the billboard.
Or let's say it's your love. This happened to me today.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
picked up my phone this morning to see, what was going on when you get up in the morning. And I looked, and there it is, 8:23, my father's birthday, August 23rd. That happens a lot of times. You might be driving down the street, and you'll see a number plate that will be your loved ones who's on the other side, their birth date.
So
Or
do you
something
think that
means
these are
something.
signals from them, like them
Yeah.
kind of waving to us saying, hey,
I call them
so the
little hellos from
synchronicities,
heaven.
they're not
Yeah.
coincidences,
No,
clearly.
there
We're
are no
way past
coincidences, by the
coincidences.
way. Spiritualists believe there are no coincidences. A lot of people believe there are no coincidences. There aren't. We say that, just like the number things is good like that. You might get in the car or be in the store shopping, food shopping. This will happen a lot of times to me. And all of a sudden, someone that I know that's deceased, if it's my dad or my mom or somebody, the song will come on and it was their favorite song, and you know that it's a little hello like that. Those are nice things. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I heard that when birds fly in front of your car, that means something too. Because I don't know what's up with these birds, but they have the whole fucking sky to fly in, and they fly right in front of my car. Like as I'm coming down the road, it's like, dude, you got wings. What are you doing 2 feet off the ground? Do you want to hug my bumper? I don't know what's going on here, but it happens like every day.
Yeah. Then there's a thing that happens. I think I have a couple of pictures of it too in my folder. Oh, my dog Brownie, when I lived here when I was growing up, now Brownie's been dead for at least has to be 40 years, right? At least that. And she was a nice dog. She was part German Shepherd and part, we didn't know, mutt, but she was an awesome dog. She was very, very smart. She lived to be 14 years old. And my mom was still alive. I was coming over here with her groceries. It was in the fall, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. And I'm walking in the yard and I've got bags of groceries to bring in for her. And all of a sudden, it's fall. All of a sudden, this dog bone, now the dog's been dead for a long time, right? This dog bone just comes flinging right out in front of me and lands in front of me on the sidewalk.
What?
And I looked around. There's nobody around. There's like no squirrels in the yard digging or anything. There's nothing. It's just me. And the leaves have started to fall. It's fall. And I went, wow. So I stopped. I put the bags down and I picked it up and I looked at it and I went, oh my God, a dog bone. What is going on here? So I put it back down. So what this is called is an apport. Okay. So I left it there. I came in the house, told my mother, here's your groceries. I'll put them away. Told her what happened. She goes, a dog bone. I said, yeah. So I left it right where it was. Okay. And I went back to my house and my husband, Marty, was going to be coming over to rake some leaves here in the yard for her. So I said to him, when you get over there, I left the dog bone right off the side by the sidewalk by the rhododendron bush. I said, it's right there. You'll see it. I said, don't touch it. Just look at it. He said, a dog bone. I said, yeah, like came out of thin air. I don't know where it came from. So he came over here. He did his raking. He looked at the dog bone. He didn't touch it. He left it right where I had placed it. And when he came home, I said to him, did you see the dog bone? He said, yeah, I didn't touch it at all. He says, and then I went to your mother to see if she needed anything else and tell her I was going to come home. And he said, when I went back out and I looked, it was gone.
What?
So an apport is supposed to be, I believe it's supposed to be, it was from the dog, obviously from Brownie, right? It came out of, I say somebody disappears in thin air. Well, this came out of thin air. It's going to stay for a while. I touched it. I saw it and a second person saw it. They usually say somebody else has to verify it. And then it can go back to where it came from.
Wow.
Sometimes, yeah, awesome. Sometimes people say, like, I had my watch right on this table, or my car keys. That's another one. People's car keys. All of a sudden, they go missing, and they're exactly where they left them that night.
Oh, yeah.
You'll search for 2 hours. You'll go in another room. You come back out, and there they are, right in that spot. That
used to happen a lot in the old house I lived in before I moved to this one. And that house that I had lived in when I got here to Alabama, this guy rented me the trailer. And I had, unbeknownst to me, the lady who owned that trailer, who he just wound up buying it because he passed away. All her stuff was still there. I had to go in and clean out this shit so I could move in. I found her marriage certificates, all kinds of family stuff. And in that house, it was a trailer, but anyway, a lot of weird shit would happen in there. A lot of weird shit. I even woke up one night at the other end of my bed. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah.
Once, but yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
She was probably around. She was probably around, the lady that had lived there before and she died, right?
Keys would go missing, and then a kitchen table, you walk past the kitchen table. I mean, you can't miss the kitchen table, okay?
Yeah.
Or just really strange, random stuff like that. But yeah, I think that was definitely her. She probably just didn't like us there. She used to being at her house or whatever. People, I think if not, I think maybe a part of them gets left behind. Even some of them, maybe not all of their whole spirit crossed over, and they're still clinging on to some stuff.
Yeah, well, sometimes we have a class on what's called psychometry, and psychometry is like you'll take an object, like this is just a pen, but you take an object that belonged to someone, a loved one of yours that's deceased, and we'll have everybody that's going to come to the class bring something from a deceased loved one. And don't tell anybody. So then we put them in an envelope sometime, or we'll just leave them out and people can just take them. And then they write down what they're picking up from the object. Now they might pick up information about what the person looked like, or the room that they lived in, or you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. The energy remains on it. Sometimes you get mixed things, especially if it's from jewelry, from rings and stuff, because the ring might have been passed down to someone else and that other person wore it. So there might be 2 or 3 people's energy on an article. So it's just interesting that the energy stays there. Yeah. Now, I used to, when I had my business, I did jewelry repair and sold jewelry and stuff. And it was a shop. I buy and sold from the public. So when I was doing jewelry repair, there was one time I bought some scrap gold from somebody, and there was a ring in there that kind of really gave me the creeps. It was like, I don't know, it was some kind of a symbol. I didn't know what the symbol was. I saw a lot of Masonic jewelry come through, and I scrapped most of it out, right? I didn't know anything then, but it just didn't feel right to me.
Right.
There was this one ring that was nice, and I thought, you know what? That would look nice in the showcase. I'm just going to fix where it's broken on the bottom and solder it and stuff. Every time, now it's in a vise, mind you, for soldering. Every time I went to solder that ring, it flew out of the vise. Now, how can that happen?
What?
So after 3 tries and almost burning myself trying to do it, I finally said, that's it. I'm going to scrap it out. And I scrapped out the gold from it. Because some things just, whatever the energy was on there, it was an attachment of some time. It wasn't good I didn't want it in my store.
I believe that these energies are attached to your emotions of the person,
Yeah.
So they follow you everywhere until you like you said, you get rid of it because
you know what that happens with a lot? Antique furniture.
Yeah.
People will go to antique stores and buy something, and then they bring it home and they'll say, I love that new overstuffed chair I got. It's like from, 1920 or something. But every time I sit in it, I feel like a big fat man smoking a cigar or something. You know what I mean? They might feel weird feelings.
Smells are really
energy is still there.
Yeah.
You don't think about that though,
Yeah.
A lot of
sometimes you're gonna smell the perfume of the person.
Yeah.
Really often, what's going on? That smell couldn't come from anywhere else.
Right.
I had that happen to me just recently. You know what it was?
What?
I bought toilet paper that was scented, and I didn't know it. I'm like, what is that smell? I keep thought it smelled really nice.
Oh my God.
I had no idea where it was coming from. It was only when I would walk like in the hallway near the bathroom and in the bathroom. This is only a couple weeks ago, and I'm like on the toilet one day, and I'm like, it was the toilet paper.
That's funny.
I never had scented toilet paper, guys.
I didn't know they had it, to tell you the truth.
I didn't know it either. Yeah,
Oh,
so
my
that
goodness.
was funny, though. I was like, what's going on here? Why do I keep smelling this?
And then how about the stories that you hear about, like, how does this happen? Like somebody will get in a car accident and they're trapped in their car and they're by themselves. I've read a lot of books about stuff like this. Or short stories even, and they're trapped in the car. They hit their head, they're bleeding, they can't get out of the car's starting to catch on fire, the motor, and all of a sudden somebody comes and shows up out in the woods or something and takes them out of there and lays them like on the ground or in the snow or whatever the case may be. And then emergency vehicles show up later on because somebody drives by and reports it. Right. And they say, well, how did you get out of that burning car? They say, well, that nice man helped me, or that nice lady carried me out. And they go, what nice man? There's nobody around here. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Who was it? Did God send an angel?
It wasn't their time. And that's their guardian to protect them, to make sure they're not crossing over too soon.
I have one story just like that happened to me. It's just, I can tell it right now because I was with my dad. I lived like in the country somewhere, and the day before there was like a big snowstorm, and I had to park my car below. I had to go up a hill to go to my house, but it was too much snow and ice. I couldn't. So I left my car at the bottom of the hill, walked to the house. But the morning after, I called my dad to come help me push the car up the hill,
Mm.
and we're pushing the car. He's got a van. It's a 4x4 van. So he puts himself behind my car, and I get into my car. So push it up the hill. So the first try we did it, we didn't make it. So we'll come back a little further down to go up. So we reposition. That it's a small. The street is not that wide. Two cars barely fit. We're in the country, and there's like a little creek, and there's a bridge. So we're on that bridge before, and we hear like a grounding. What's going on? Because we're just replacing we put like a tire between my car and his van, just not to
Just
fuck
scrape
my
stuff,
car. Yeah. So we're replacing that tire, and we hear like a big grounding noise. What's going on? So we'll look up the hill. The hills might be like 100, maybe 50 feet off, in front of us, and we see this. I don't know if you have this in your parts of the country, but here in these type of roads, we got like a big we call it sand trucks. They go and they spread sand on the ice. So we see that truck come in right on top of the hill, and he's going like maybe 70. I don't know.
No.
He was coming fast, and we see it, and oh my God, what are we going? There's no place to go. The only place we could go, we jump into the van. And everything. We said. I look at my dad. I said, "Oh man, we're done for. He's gonna hit. Where is he gonna go?" So I don't know what happened. I closed my eyes. I saw a big white flash, and it was a big grumble. And then when I opened my eyes, what's going on? Just dead sound, nothing. And I look at my dad, and what the fuck's going on? So we got out of the van, and it was like heaven, It was like the sun ray was right there, and all this, it was like snowing. It wasn't snowing, but there was snow everywhere. And I said, what the fuck happened? And we turn around, and we see the guy on the truck. He's like that. He's off the truck, and he's holding his head. He says, you are okay? What happened? I said, I don't know. What happened? He says, I don't know. I closed my eyes. He doesn't even know how he got past us, and we don't know. We don't know either.
Wow, that's
just
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, it was just crazy.
That's amazing.
We saw this big white flash of light, and there was no place.
That was like divine intervention. That big white flash of light.
Definitely. Definitely.
And my dad, we never talked about it.
No, huh?
Because we cannot explain what happened. We don't even know. It was just crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it happened, and it happened. And that's just amazing. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's just crazy.
I totaled a car right before I turned 21 years old. Now, I was always late for everything. So I'm late going to work. I was here. I wasn't married yet. I left here, and about a mile down the street from here, there was always a place on the road, a little kind of, what's a back kind of country road. And there was a spring on one side of it. So in the wintertime, it always ran across, and it was icy there, So my father had bought me, at the time, it was a brand new little Toyota Corolla Mark II. And I loved it. It was my new car. It was only like 3 or 4 months old. And I was going to pay him back $50 a week then. He paid for it, and I was paying him back. So I'm late going to work. I worked in Wilmington, Mass. So it was a little drive from here. I'm going down there, and I saw the ice. I'm going a little too fast. I saw the ice. And what did I do? It had radial tires on it. I hit the brakes. Now, I shouldn't have. So when the car skidded onto the ice, I have my foot on the brake. The car did this. It tumbled frontwards to backwards twice, whoosh, like this. So
What?
the whole thing crushed in onto my head. It was the roof was crushed down onto my head. I had glass every place. So when it flipped over, I lost consciousness for just maybe a few seconds. I really don't know. But when that happened, I saw everything up to that point in my life in a split second. I remember to this day, and everything, it wasn't in color. Everything was gray when I saw it in my mind. And it was like, I'm going to be okay. So I crawled out of the broken window. I was thinner then, crawled out of the window, and the cars all smashed in. And there was a woman in her pajama and her robe came out of the house that was right near there. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm going to call the ambulance." And her husband came out to help me walk across the street. And he said, "Are you all right?" And I was kind of in shock a little. And I'm looking at them, and everything that I was looking at, all I could see was like very faint gray myself. I wasn't seeing any color, like I guess when you go in shock. But I did see from the time I was a baby, it all flashed through my mind in like probably 1 second when it happened. So it wasn't my time then either. And I was okay, no broken bones or anything, but I slowed down after that, lost the car. My father had paid cash for the car. At the time, it was like you could buy a new car like that for $3,200 or something,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and get a good deal, a really good deal.
Yeah, back then. But anyway, so that was
good
just
old days.
a long time ago. Yeah.
When service used to matter. Guys, let me tell you, I went to Red Lobster recently, not to change the subject or nothing, but ever since the last couple of years with all this that happened in this new generation who has no communication skills whatsoever unless they're texting on this motherfucker.
I know.
The quality of service when you go to these places compared to the way it used to be when I was younger and stuff, there's no standard. There's just, it was just awful. And these kids, I mean, I'm not trying to put down this generation, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't even care about what they're doing. There's more people running around doing nothing than actually doing something. I mean, it's just such a disappointment.
No, you're right. When I had my store, which I did that for 19 and a half years. So I up at the 6 months. I say I did that work for 20 years. I had my business. It was on the seacoast in Seabrook, New Hampshire was my store. And a lot of people had fish and chip stands and stuff. It's all along a coast. So one guy would come in and he would talk to me, and he said to me, "It's hard to get good help." Now, this is going back a few years too. He said, the kids don't want to work, especially in the summertime. We always had to have summer jobs when I was growing up. Even if you only got a couple of bucks an hour to do it, you had a summer job to help out. Right. So he said, the kids don't want to work. He says, I hired this new girl, and he said to me who it was. She was a younger kid, like 15, 16 years old. He says, and I hired so-and-so's daughter, and he named her. And I said, oh yeah, right. I think I know who she is. He said, so she doesn't want to come into work. She comes in like 3 hours late. He said, and I said to her this morning, you were supposed to be here at 9 this morning. It's noontime. You're supposed to be here on time. And he said, you know what she said to me? You're lucky I showed up at all.
Unbelievable, these kids. I'm telling you.
What a thing to say to your boss, right?
But that's their mentality. It really is. Like, they'd rather sit home and game all day long and cash in their fucking raw tokens or something. I don't even know. But yes, it's just there's such a lack of communication. And if you do try to have an intelligent conversation with them about the state of affairs that you find their restaurant, and now they got to take a 5-minute break because you just blew up their world. It's like I couldn't help myself. I worked in the restaurant industry for 7 years, and where I worked at, they had pretty high standards, and it was just an average restaurant. And here you're walking into good old Red Lobster, who should have their shit together.
Yeah.
The company's kind of on their way out, actually. But yeah, and it was just, they're like, oh yeah, go sit at the bar. The bar was covered with dishes, dirty, and an hour later, when I went back to the bar, it was still that way. And the girl, it was still sitting there acting like she's rolling silverware, checking her phone. And I said something to her. I was like, if I was somebody who was rating this restaurant, coming in here writing up a piece of it, you guys would fail miserably.
Give it an F.
You tell me in the whole last hour you couldn't get anybody to come over and clean all this up, and why is that table still dirty for an hour? Those people left when I first got here, and she's looking at me like, bitch, are you the manager? You know what I mean? But that I'm coming from that managerial place because I worked in this type of a restaurant, and they had high standards that I had to train people by those standards and stuff. And you just see it's just decline.
Really
Even
decline.
out into their parking lot. You go to IHOP. That's not one of my favorite places or anything. But at least you get out of your car and the parking lot's clean. Now it looks like they fucking dumped the whole dumpster in the parking lot. So now you got to walk through trash to get into the restaurant and then hope that, things will go well in there because you just never know it. It's a roll of the dice.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get off track and everything, but
Yeah, but you're right. It's true.
it's annoying. It really is. Because, you don't get to do much. You get to go out and you want to have a nice time. And it's like, you just don't know what you're going to get from day to day anymore. It's like life was like a box of chocolates. Now you're just fucked.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So what other ghost stuff you got for us, Patty? Do you have anything that's happened in your house recently? Any odd things that have taken place in any other locations?
Well, when I lived at my other house for 45 years, the house we just sold. And when I first moved in there way back when, it had wooden stairs, was an old farmhouse, and the stairs to go upstairs were very steep. I think at one time it was a loft originally. It was a salt box colonial, with the roof that comes way down, like sharp, like really down steep. And then they raised the roof back in the 1940s and made the upstairs rooms bigger, so you didn't hit your head on the ceiling and stuff. So the stairs were very steep, and a couple of them squeaked. Now, after my kids were grown several years later, and they're out on their own, one had an apartment, the other one got married, and they're out on their own. So it's just Marty and I. And all of a sudden, sometimes in the middle of the night, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, our room was downstairs, our bedroom, sound asleep. And I would get woken up from a sound sleep because I'd hear somebody walking on those stairs that squeaked to go upstairs or come downstairs, and the stairs would squeak. So a few times I got like kind of scared, and I thought, well, who is that? There's nobody else in here. The house is locked up. We're asleep. I got up and I stood at the stairs and I looked, and there's nobody there. So this went on for quite a while. And the man whose family had owned the house before I bought it, my ex-husband and I bought it together, had died a couple of years before. So I kind of started putting 2 and 2 together, and I said, Oscar, is that you? And his name was Oscar. And I said, look, I live in this house now. I said, so you can't be here waking me up with the squeaky stairs. I want that to stop. So don't you know, I never heard him again. This was after having heard them like a dozen times, right?
Wow.
Over a course of, months or something. So that stopped. But the new thing was the little light on the wall in the kitchen. He decided, I guess, to switch to the lights. So the light would go on by itself. We'd be in the living room, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see the light go on. And I'm like, the light's on again in the kitchen. I'd change the light bulb, I'd unplug it, plug it back in, make sure it's not frayed or something. And it was fine. It wasn't that old. So I'd shut it off, and I'd go sit back on the couch, and Marty's in the recliner watching TV. And all of a sudden the light goes back on again. I said, what the hell is going on here? It was him or somebody playing games.
Yeah, he wanted attention.
Exactly.
If he's looking around in the house and he's all alone on that side where he's at, trapped maybe, or not wanting to leave, he still needs self-validation like we all need here in the real world. And he's trying to get that attention any way he can. And it's in these nice subtle ways. It's not like, he's yanking your hair while you're sleeping or something.
So when they had moved out of my house, they owned the family was a big family, a big Armenian family. They owned the property across the street, and him and his wife built a home over there. So when he died from in that house. You know what I'm saying? So she's still alive to this day. She's in her late 90s. She still lived there at the time. So when the light kept acting up, I let it go for a while. And I finally said one day by myself, I'm home by myself. And I said, now listen, Oscar, I think it's you playing with this light at night. And you can't keep doing that because your house is across the street with Wanda. You live over there, remember? Do you know it never happened again? I had to kind of direct him, go back over there with Wanda. And it stopped. It never happened again. It's like you said, they're like a lost soul. They're in the house that they think they're supposed to be in or whatever. And so maybe he's driving her crazy now. I don't know, but that's okay. She was married to him.
I don't know why people don't cross over, why they get stuck here,
either they didn't do something that they were supposed to do or neglected somebody or something, or I don't know.
Attachment to things in this world, I guess. There's a lot of you hear a lot of this, like they are attached to this tangible world, you know. They don't want a part of them is still attached here, maybe. I don't know.
Sometimes if they have a sudden death, like, like an instantaneous thing in a car crash or something that wasn't like a sickness that lingered or anything, if it's something very sudden, a lot of time they seem to be trapped too, because they don't know that they're dead. They don't know to move on,
Yeah.
And there are mediums. I know of some mediums that do that type of work where they help someone to move on, rescue mediumship. Yeah.
There might be like two types of these energy, like the energy that's stick with the like emotion, like we talk, and maybe the people that hold like emotions into things. That's probably two different things, because the emotion one is directly to yourself, to you, and the other one could be like around it. I'm not sure about any of this, because nobody can
tell for sure.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like a lot of times somebody just asked a question, I think, about, so do you see God? I think a lot of times, depending on the religion that they were involved with, some people might see Buddha, some people might see Jesus, some people might just see God the Father. It all depends what your belief system was. Well, I believe in them all. I think they were all marvelous people, and they all did some wonderful things in this lifetime. I myself believe in the spiritual church, we call it infinite intelligence. There's a wonderful prayer we say that's a healing prayer. And we call God infinite intelligence, but the very last line says, I put my love in the trust of God. So there's one creator, one God omnipotent, if you will, right? That's my belief. That's what I believe with them. And my first reverend that passed away used to always tell us, all roads that lead to God are good. So whatever your religion is, all roads that lead to God are good.
That's right.
So that's what I think anyway.
There was a near-death experience that I listened to. I think one of them was an atheist, came back completely believing in God and Jesus.
My ex-husband, yeah.
Right around just like that. And the other one was a Jewish woman who they denied Jesus. They were straight on Jews. And she had a near-death experience, came back and started telling her parents she saw Jesus. And they're like, you're fucking nuts. We need to get you a psychiatrist. And they tried to, make her see a psychiatrist. And, she turned to Jesus because, and she had never known anything about him. They weren't even allowed to talk about Jesus in their house and stuff. So I find that to be all very, very compelling. You know what I mean? But either way you slice it, we're all going back to the creator, because he's created us. No matter what really your religion is, at the end of the day, it has to do with if you're a good spirit and learn the lessons that you were supposed to learn here so you can transition into heaven, because they don't allow none of this bullshit in heaven.
That's right.
There's no pain, there's no regret, there's no sorrow, there's none of that stuff. It's just pure, absolute, abundant love, joy, happiness, grace. It is God himself. And we are a part of him, and we go back to him like a magnet. Right. And that's why I was kind of like trying to figure out this whole thing about people being trapped here. It seems to be like this limbo in between place or something that some souls sort of sift off to the side, and get stuck there or something. And then people talk about reincarnation, people who maybe did cross over, didn't get to have that near-death experience, just wound up crossing over when they weren't supposed to and come back because there's things they didn't get to finish, and they have to come back for another life cycle to complete that on a soul level, is what I'm getting from most of it.
So it's easier to try to make your amends here than it is on the other side. And I think
you got to make it here,
Yeah, you've got to make it here. Otherwise, they may be some of the souls that are trapped, like you said. You know what I mean?
We don't have the information. There's so much we don't know about the afterlife, and we're not supposed to know a lot of things as well, so we can have our most authentic experience here. But at the same time, I think, they've left a lot of things out that we should know about ourselves and who and what we really are and how we are connected to everything. We're all connected to each other, and that which we're all connected to the creator, because he created us. Right. You just can't get around that,
Right.
Yeah, I got when we get to the out of body experience, I got to like two small clips, maybe 5-minute clips of the one that created the system in the 70s, Robert Monroe. I don't know if you people
Oh, I've
know
seen
about,
some of
yeah,
his things. Yeah.
if people know about OB, he's, everybody knows Robert Monroe, who he is.
Are you going to show that right this minute? If I could just answer a question.
No, I won't show it
Healing
right
Fan
now.
Man, I know, just
Yeah,
asked a
Healing Fan has a question.
Yeah, some of them could be demons, Rich. The thing is, the practice that I've learned in the religion, in the spiritualist religion, is when you do pray, you're praying to God. But if you're going to try to give someone a loving message from the other side, I always say a prayer. All the mediums that I know always say a prayer. Dear God, surround me with your white light of protection and allow only the highest and the best to come through with comforting, loving messages from the other side. We will accept nothing from the lower realm. So what your intent is, the intent that you put out is what you're asking for, and that's what will come through. Nothing, they have to, natural law calls into place here. Natural law are God's laws. And it's like the law of cause and effect, the law of love. There's so many different aspects, all these different natural laws. These are God's laws, the cosmic laws, some people call them, but they're God's laws. Yeah. So when you say to your intent, I will only accept the highest and the best, that's all that's going to come to you. It's just like the law of attraction. If you're a terrible person and you're treating everybody like crap and you have to bitch about everything and gossip about everybody in the world and you can't say anything nice about anybody, you're going to keep attracting all negativity to you. But if you turn around and you're trying to be kind to people, show them sympathy and empathy and try to be kind and help people out and show love to people and show concern to people, that's the kind of people that you're going to attract around you. The same thing goes with spirit contact through mediumship.
Yeah, these demonic or force, anything you want to call it, they can only hurt you if you let them,
allow them, right?
Allow them, exactly. And these type of forces just attack people when you are low vibration, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling like afraid, or when you had bad experiences, or treat people bad. They prey on these lower vibration,
Right.
And
a lot of stuff that happens too is if somebody has some issues, like whether it's they tell you not to do any type of meditation or to do any type of mediumship if you're involved with alcohol or drugs or anything.
Yeah, alcohol, drop your vibration.
Doorway for demons, yes. That's why they call it spirits, wine and spirits.
That's right. That's when you leave yourself wide open to lower realms. Yeah. And there are demonic things, and you don't want that to come through. I will use a Ouija board. I don't use tarot cards. I was not trained that way. I was trained to go within. God is within all of us. The divine spark is within all of us. And what I've learned to do in my meditation is I'm talking to God. I'm praying when I'm meditating. And I ask for the highest and the best. If I know someone in my family has a serious illness, I pray for their highest and the best. If you pray and say, oh God, cure their cancer. Oh God, don't let them do this. You can't do that. You can't tell God what to do. You pray for their highest and their best. What will be, will be. So you just pray for whatever's going to happen. Just pray for them for the best.
Well, I have had experiences in the house that I lived in with my ex-husband. A year after we were married, his mother committed suicide. And he inherited the house, which was the house that he grew up in. 10 years prior to his mom committing suicide, his father died in the bathroom, the only bathroom in the house. He had a massive heart attack while I was in it, kind of like Elvis. Mm-hmm. So when we moved into this house, a lot of weird stuff was going on. And I had two little ones. My boys Ryan wasn't even a year old and Chris was 4. So I had my hands full. And there was a lot of stuff left in this house from his mom and his sister who were living there. And here we're moving in with all our stuff, and we got to move all their stuff out. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of old toys laying around from the grandkids who had grown up and come to that house. A lot of old toys. My son, Chris, who was 4 years old, was downstairs in the living room. Kids get up to crack a yak. They're down there watching the Saturday morning cartoons at 7 a.m. And I'm still upstairs sleeping with Ryan because he was kind of like laying with me. He wasn't even a year old. And Chris wanted me to help him. He said, Mom, I went down to check on him real quick. He was watching TV he's like, can you help me with this? It was like some kind of transformer thing, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be down in a minute, because I couldn't just leave Ryan. You know, he was upstairs, like I had to get for him. So I come back down and I'm like, all right, what do you want me to do? And he's like, oh, that guy fixed it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I'm home alone with the kids. My ex-husband at the time was already out on his way to work. So I'm in his house with my boys. And he tells me that a man just helped him fix this toy. I checked the whole house. There was nobody in the house. I was freaking out. And he was like, yeah, he was just there. And he was like, you know, it was just, he couldn't really tell me what he looked like. He was 4 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that was his father. Then there was one night where Ryan, like I said, he wasn't even a year old yet. He was only like about 9 months old when she passed away. And she was really, really fond of Ryan. This was her latest grandchild. And she committed suicide in the front bedroom. So Ryan was in the middle bedroom in his crib. And it was like as if somebody was tickling him in his crib. I've never heard an infant, you know, under 1 year old, laugh so intensely as if somebody was tickling him. And he kept staring up at the ceiling. Me and my ex-husband were like at the crack of the door watching him. I'm like, listen. And he's like cracking up laughing. And then he'd stop. And then he'd crack up laughing again. It was like, and I'm like, that's your mother. Like your mother's in there with him right now. Yeah. And so that was pretty crazy. He would tell me that he would see things because we lived there 6 years. He would see things going across the ceiling, like shadows flying around. And he would always come in my room and sleep with me because he would be scared. But I slept in the front bedroom where his mother committed suicide. My ex-husband would never sleep in that room because his mother committed suicide. His mother, he slept in the back room, this tiny little back room, which used to be his room when he was a little boy. Yeah. So here I am in this room. You know, I'm trying to fix it up, make it my own now. You know, I got the king size bed in there. My husband's in the back room, in this room. And I put my tapestry up on the wall. And I remember I had like 3 push pins going across, 3 push pins down, 3 push pins going across the bottom. It was a thin tapestry. It was really cool looking. And it was over the bed. I woke up the next morning. The whole tapestry was down, laying across the whole top of the bed and across my head. Every push pin was out.
I guess she didn't like it there, huh?
Right. So I thought that was really unusual. Yeah, it's like I put it back up, and the next day only a corner of it was down, and then I put that back up, and then didn't happen again anything after that. Then I was in the bathroom, actually getting a bath. My ex-husband was in the back room, which is just down the hallway, and the bathroom door, I watched the knob. It turned and opened. And I'm laying in the tub, and then it just kind of stopped. And I yelled for my husband because I thought he was right there. And he's down the hallway in his room. And I'm like, somebody just opened this fucking door. I saw the doorknob turn. It didn't just happen to slide open off the latch or something, you know. It turned. I can see it in my head right now. It turned. Yeah.
So a lot of times people have baby monitors too. Something will get picked up a lot of times on a baby monitor. Again, it's an electronic thing. We can't see it, but the camera or whatever's in there, you know, the electronic stuff will pick up, and you might be able to see an outline of a person walking by. Like you said, the baby's laughing. Somebody's obviously in there tickling them or playing with them, right? Yeah. And that might have been picked up if they didn't have them back in our time, baby monitors.
Yeah, I didn't have one then because I was so close to his room and stuff. It was a smaller house, but there's a lot of weird stuff. My sister would not babysit there. I'd have to take the kids around to my mom's house because she was too freaked out to be in the house with all the stuff that I had told her had happened. It was a very interesting time living there for 6 years.
Wow, it's too bad about your ex-mother-in-law. That's a shame. That's too bad. A lot of things that for whatever reason we don't know. And I mean, I know we were taught you're not supposed to do that growing up in the Catholic Church. No, you're not really supposed to do that. But
she was so brokenhearted when her husband died. She was so brokenhearted when her husband died that she tried to commit suicide a number of times over that 10 years. And that time she succeeded. So yeah, it was really hard on the family and everything. But you know, when your spouse that you've had for, you know, however many years, 50 years or whatever, and then you're without them, a lot of people can't get past that. You know what I mean? It's a grief that just never goes away, that void that's never filled. And she really had a tough time with it.
Yeah. But that's another thing too, that sometimes you'll hear about like an elderly couple, like the man will die and like 2 days later the wife dies. And
Mhm.
nobody had a sickness. It was just like an old age thing, but like died right after, whether it was from a
Yeah.
broken heart or they just wanted to be with him on the other side.
Yeah,
You know,
broken heart.
yeah, that a lot of times too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of illness happens like this always
Yeah.
when a loved one like dies or have an accident. You can develop illnesses in your body like cancers or thing, and it can go away when your grief is gone. It's
Right,
I've
right.
seen it, and it happened to my mom when her dad died. You know, she developed some kind of illness,
Mm-hmm.
and she had to, when she got over it, everything was gone. You know, she was
Yeah.
fine again, and they
Yeah.
do these things. And Jen, you made like a point when you talk about children making some children sees like imaginary friends, we call them. They make imaginary friends for them. Well, I think sometimes spirits are like this for grown-ups,
Yeah.
because these
Children,
child need like a friend
yeah.
to cope life, to go through life. But
Mhm.
these ghost appearance for you, it's for you to go on, to continue your life, but
Right.
they are there to help you go through this, to these attachments and emotional events that happening.
Yeah. And the children, they could see spirits sometimes up till 5 years old.
Yes.
Their
They're
third
so
eye's still
close.
open, and they're still
That's right.
connected to the spirit realm. They
Yes,
have that
exactly.
ability to see into it, and then at some point we lose it, I guess, with the calcification and everything. And
Yeah.
I think to a certain extent, we're not supposed to be so connected to the spirit world. Maybe back, like, say, when Adam and Eve were in the garden, like CFM was reading, they were connected to the godly realm and could speak with God and see the angels and everything. But once you left the garden, that the experience we have to have now has to be so authentic that we are disconnected from that, through that,
Although
maybe original sin. You know what I mean?
when Jesus went up on the mountain and he had a conversation with some of the prophets from before him, from in the Bible, it's in the Bible. He saw them. They were transfiguring before him. It's
Right.
basically the same thing,
Yeah.
So it's not an evil thing. Yes, again, I know Richard said something about
Yeah,
it's
I
the
want
weird
to.
stuff. It's not all of it. No, and you have
It
to
can
put
be
your
a dangerous
intent out.
thing. That's why it says in the Bible, don't do it, because you can be very easily deceived.
Yeah.
And they are looking to pretend to be something that they're not, so they can deceive you. And then, you got a lot of people out here, a lot of jackwagons who just want to play a Ouija board, think it's cool, watch all these creepy movies and stuff. And they're playing with fire. It's really
Right.
not something that, just anybody should try to attempt. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we get little nudges here and there from our loved ones. A lot of near-death experiencers who had close encounters with, heaven and came back, said that, that their grandmother who passed away, she was told in that near-death experience that her grandmother's been watching over her this whole time.
Right.
She's always there with her and stuff. You know what I mean? And I think in these little subtle ways we get those messages, just like we get messages from God, the Creator, or Jesus. We just seem to overlook them and go on with our daily lives and stuff like that. But if you really pay attention, you'll see little things like the bone. You know what I mean? The bone was just, that had to be from your dog.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was from Brownie. Yeah.
And I think they do want to let us know in some way that they're okay, or they miss us, or.
Exactly.
But there are other things now, if other dimensions or other realms, whatever you want to call them. Like I showed on your show back in last August, and I think I have the clip of it on my folder if we have time for that. But I don't know what that was to this day that I saw. All I know is that when I saw that black, I call it a structure. It's not, I don't mean meltology structure. I mean some kind of black thing that was in the woods,
like
and
a den.
that old quarry that had all that terracing and those triangle shaped rocks. I mean, for all I know, it was a pyramid of something. All right. So here I am just trying to film, minding my own business. And I said, I'm going to go over to this part today. The next day I went back. It's 10 minutes from here. I went back the next day, but as soon as I got there, it was the same kind of weather. It was hot out. It was like 85 degrees, beautiful day though. And as soon as I walked into the woods, it was like, something looks different. I just knew, like it looked like misty almost in there, and it hadn't been like that the day before. So then when I went to walk over to the side, I hadn't filmed the day before, and I looked, and in my video, it's only like 16 seconds long. I go, what is that black thing? What is that supposed to be? I didn't know what I was seeing. I had no way to describe what I was seeing. And then I got this feeling that was like, oh my God, in all my years, I've never felt what I had heard other people say, a sense of doom.
Yeah.
I knew, and I couldn't look at it again either, because I knew if I looked at that, something was going to happen. Now, whether it was maybe a portal or some type of entrance or something had come through from another dimension or another realm or something, I don't think I was supposed to see it. I happened to be there and I saw it and I got it on film.
Right.
And I knew if I looked at it, I was going to get zapped or something was going to happen to me. No. So I couldn't look at it. So I had to leave. The feeling that I had inside of me, we always call it, you know, the little voice. It's you talking, your soul, taking care of you. All right.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do that. All I know is I'm getting, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here now. I knew I had to leave and I did. I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never felt that sense, that awful feeling. I never want to feel it again. It was awful.
Right.
Awful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, these things, you know, they cannot hurt like the physical. They're just there, and they only you or another human can hurt you, you know. But there's nothing really bad about anything unless you wish bad on somebody else, you know. Now you're doing bad stuff, you know. But this is what I think. Yeah, that's
that. What would make me feel that sense of doom, though? That feeling. I mean, I wasn't afraid of it. All I know is I just got this overwhelming feeling that get out of here, you're going to die. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's, you know, your brain can do tricks on people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been into some abandoned houses and felt the same way, you know, but there was nothing there, you know. There was nothing.
I don't know. There's a little creature in that
I know.
Do you remember, Jen? There's a little creature.
I remember the little creature.
Creepy. He had horns.
People who have come up on areas in the woods that seem to be a living space for some type of creature, they get the vibe of silence and their intuition, their inner gut feeling, you need to leave now. And sometimes they will even hear a voice in their head, a voice, not their voice, but a voice saying, you leave, you need to leave now.
The guardian angel, because, you know.
And yeah, I've experienced that myself a few times. It's pretty crazy, but it's a fail-safe system that we have. You know, the hairs in the back of your neck stands up. You know something's not right. You need to get moving and get out of there. And
yeah. But you know, I felt some things like one time I was sleeping at one of my girlfriend's house, and in this house, you know, her and her brother were always having like these sleepwalking thing, you know. I never heard anybody have so much sleepwalk.
They would walk in their sleep.
Yeah.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, but I slept there only once, you know,
because of that.
No, but what happened was just crazy. She had like this bed with another bed underneath, you know. You slide the bed.
Oh yeah, trundle bed or something.
So I slept on that. We were like 16 years old, and I slept on the bed that was underneath her bed, and during the night I felt like somebody grabbed my hand, you know. So I think, oh, she's grabbing my hand. I'm turning around. There's nobody there, you know. She's sound asleep. So I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh my goodness.
So I woke her up. Did you touch me? I said, well, she's like asleep, you know. And she fell asleep. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. You know, what was it? I don't know. I didn't see anything, but there was something. I didn't make it up. But, you know, I still don't believe in ghosts after all that and everything that I'm going to say later. But I know.
But you felt something grab, like a hand
just like somebody grab your hand. Like
that's weird. Yeah.
That's
weird.
That always freaked me out in them scary movies and stuff where somebody's laying in bed and all of a sudden like something grabs their foot and yanks.
Yeah, it was coming from under the bed, you know. I was
oh wow. Yeah, that's
I couldn't
creepy.
deal with that. I'd go fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that's
I didn't sleep the rest of the
night.
night.
Well, why don't I show a few of the pictures that I have?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, and then Shapu can maybe do his stuff after I do that, all right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember how to do this now. It's been a while since I was on your show, so I forget.
Well, you hit the present button. Present. It used to say share screen, but now it says
yeah, it
present.
says present. Okay. Now it says share screen, right?
Yeah, you click on the box and go to share screen.
Share screen. Okay, I have to get to my photos.
I don't see anything up yet to allow me to let you
No,
screen
I
share.
have to. Let me. I don't know how to get this other thing out of the way here. Let me think. I'm trying to remember how I did this the last time.
So if you click present and then hit share screen, and then the box that comes up of our images here, you click that, and then you hit share.
What I want to share though is oh, wait a minute. I think I know what I have to do.
After
Let me
you
try
do all
this.
this, you can. So.
Yeah, then you can move over to your other tab and it'll show that tab.
It says select a tab to preview.
Yeah, or you could just click on that whole screen, that box that you're seeing with us on screen. Just click that.
Screen one,
and then
this.
Select a tab. Let me click on that first, but
then you click on the tab you want to show. If you
that would only show just one tab.
No, I have to get to Google Photos, and it's usually over here on the right. But this thing that says private chat and comments is there, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Oh, maybe because you're not doing it right.
Because I'm not doing it right, of course. That's what's wrong. Oh, all right. Let's see. Let me do this again.
Okay, Patty, take your time. It's all good. We'll get you through it. My sister used to talk in her sleep. She would yell in her sleep. I'd be downstairs hanging out with my friends, and all of a sudden she'd be screaming upstairs. They're like, "What's wrong with her?" I'm like, "She's just talking in her sleep."
Yeah, these are things with that going on into your life, to just exorcist like what your bad feelings about people in your sleep.
My son Christopher, when he was born, right up through 5 years old, had night terrors. Bad night terrors.
Well,
his eyes would be wide open and he would be screaming, but he wasn't here in this reality. He was seeing something else, and it used to freak the fucking shit out of me. I remember when I married my ex-husband, because Chris was about 3.5 going on 4 years old, and then I had Ryan right after that. And I just started freaking out. I'm like, you got to do something. He had to shake him and kind of smack him in the face to get him to come out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You had it for a second, Patty.
I did?
Yeah, I saw the screen appear at the bottom, but you maybe clicked too much. Yeah, Jen, it's crazy, these things. I had for maybe a year and a half when I was 9-year-old, sleep paralysis every night. It was crazy. Gonna talk about it.
He had a door on the back of a door. Listen to me. He had a mirror on the back of his door in his bedroom, and one night he said there was something coming out of his mirror. I had to take this mirror down and throw it out, and I could never even shut his door again in his room. It always had to be open. But one night he was screaming and he said there was something coming out of the mirror. He was freaking out.
Yeah.
It's all in the house. There you go, Patty. You got it.
Yes.
I do?
Yes. You just choose the tab you want to show now.
Yeah, just go under your tabs there.
I don't know where my tabs are. I usually just click on photos.
Yeah, I don't see your Google anywhere.
No, I don't need. It's over on the right side. It says there's a column. I wish I could
But
hide
if
it.
you press the
Behind this thing, but it's in my big.
Yeah, but go up in the corner, in the right corner.
In the right corner.
You see this little bar, straight bar,
a straight bar.
You see it? There's a X, a square, and a bar. There's an X, a square, and a bar in the right corner.
Upper right corner.
No, I've got a camera, a minus sign,
higher than that.
Higher? Oh, up here.
Yeah. Click on the bar.
Click on the box.
No, the bar.
Oh, the bar. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. There. Now
now I have nothing. Okay.
Now, now you need to open your thing with the where you got your photos in.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
You're
isn't
doing
it?
great,
Hold on.
Patty.
Yeah.
You're doing
All right.
great.
I think I got it now. Hold on.
All right.
Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas, like they say.
That's right.
Here we go.
Oh,
Albums.
baby.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Paranormal items. Yes.
All right. Click that hide button right there. See, it says hide that thing on the bottom of
Yeah.
the screen. Yeah, click
Yeah.
that. There you go.
All right. So this is just a few random shots that I was out taking. This is going back a couple of years even, in the last year or two. So these were pictures of, this was supposed to be a partial eclipse of the sun, this here. And when I took this, it was really strange because it was like, what are these things? What, I had to turn around and not look at the sun. I had to let the camera take the picture, but I couldn't look. They tell you don't look at it. So I don't know what these little things were. So I kept the picture because, like I said, I didn't know what they were. It was just something different. But look at the shape of this. It's just very strange. And the sun is white now. It's not yellow anymore. Am I still on the show?
Oh yeah. Jen,
All right.
Jen left. I was
Okay.
just looking at
And
it.
then if she kept breaking up a little bit too, huh?
Yeah, she's far from her
Yeah.
modem.
So then this is just 3 or 4 pictures in a row, but it's kind of neat because you see those 2 trees, and that's the moon. It was a full moon. So there's one picture. I did them like one after the other, like bang, 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 bang. All right. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. What is that?
What is? No, I don't know. What is
I
that?
don't know, but it looks like beam me up, Scotty, doesn't it? I don't know. And then here's the one right after. There's nothing there in that one. I had taken them all right in a row, and that just showed up in that one. This one here.
Yeah, it's either something fast in front, real fast, or
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was just really odd because I didn't see it. The camera eye saw it, but I couldn't see it.
Yeah,
No,
I've got nice pictures of these.
Yeah?
You've probably never seen the one I've gonna show. Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And this was just another oddity that I took one night when I was trying to take pictures of, just something. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this thing is. It looks like a ring around a planet almost, but it wasn't anything that I saw when I took the picture. I was only concentrating on this.
Yeah, the moon is really weird.
Yeah. And then this is you can see all the pixels in the background because I tried to go in close on it,
Yeah.
But this is the same thing. Of course, what do we have going across here? In the sky, in the night sky, right?
Yeah.
And then how can this be behind it or in front of it? How do you like that? It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when you catch clouds behind the moon.
Yeah. Now this is my window. This is where I live now. This is the lake. It's right here out the window.
Nice.
And look at if Dal is watching, look at this.
Dallas.
This is right there. See? Right there. So I have my
Nice.
morning coffee looking out. That's from this morning. Now the reason I took this picture is just so you could see this is across the lake, across from me. And here's the tree line. So I just want you to remember the tree line. So there's some houses. Some of them are still just camps, some are cottages and stuff. But so here's the tree line. So there's nights where I can't sleep, but I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All right. And I saw this one night. Now I zoomed in. Now this is on night sight when I took this one. So you can see this here. It was a stationary over the trees. It just sat there when I put up the big shade, and I just sat here, having a cup of decaf tea or something. And I'm watching this thing and it's not moving, but it sat there for about an hour. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really weird. So look at this. It's like, I don't know what it is. It didn't move. And then all of a sudden, after about an
disappeared?
hour,
It just disappeared.
no, it started to move.
Oh, it moved.
So it
Oh,
started to
wow.
move. And I just have I only got a little video of it. So here's the video. Look at the pixels in the picture, right? Now watch. Right there, it gets orangey.
Oh,
Right
wow.
there. Did you see it?
Yes.
Two big now that's not a plane. Planes don't
No.
sit still and not move for an hour and then do this. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
And it's a video, so I can't go in close on that, but
yeah, see it moving
that's
now.
over the tree line. Yeah. It's just really, I don't know what it is. And I've seen a lot of things like that here over the lake. Now, I don't know what they are. I just don't think they're from planets. I think they're from
Yeah, I've seen
Other
some
flapping
kind of the same thing,
Mhm.
but they were there, not moving,
Mm.
and
Then they disappeared.
Yeah, it
I've seen some just disappear. Yeah, but this
just
one moved,
disappeared.
which was really strange. When it gets over a little further is when it just disappeared. But it did travel, and I thought, oh, maybe it knows I'm watching it, whatever it is, right? Oh,
Yeah,
here's the
the funny
phone.
thing is that it wasn't moving before, for a
Yeah,
couple minutes, So.
yeah. So here's the dog bone. Those are my old sneakers. So here's the dog bone, all right, when it got thrown out in front of me. And again, like I said, it had to be from Brownie. It's a real dog bone. I picked it up and then I put it back down. Those are just some sticks that were in the yard. Yeah. And then when Marty came home, he said it was there when he was raking. And then when he went in the house to say goodbye to my mother and came back out, it was gone. Strange, huh?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And look at this. Isn't that awful?
What's
Who's
that?
that?
That's me. And my own mother didn't know it was me.
Oh,
I was going to a Halloween party about 8 years ago. And I showed my mother the picture the next day and she said, oh my God, that's ugly. And I said, Ma, that's me. She didn't even know it was me. Isn't that awful? So that's kind of scary too.
That was a good one.
Oh,
Oh, here it is.
yeah. So here it is. So this is the thing. And then I noticed after, look at this hole that's here. Yeah, I didn't see that before. I was more worried about this when I saw it.
yeah. What is
I
that?
don't know. It wasn't a tree that fell over. It wasn't, it was a very dry summer too. That looks like it's like mucky or I don't know, plasma-y or plasticky or
I don't know, but Dogman is known to make dens like this.
You're kidding.
No, serious. And people get that feeling like you had. Like, oh,
Well,
shit,
they're better not be
I'm
any
here.
when I come down to Mount Cheeha. I'll tell you that right now. We're all going to stick together. Nobody goes off by themselves, right?
No, we're going to be together, Patty. I got headlamps, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, good.
I'll bring my taser with me, too, in case Dogman gets too close.
Oh, my God. That's good. That's good. So here it is. I put the pictures in backwards, I guess. That's a little further away. Here's the video. There's the thing on the left. Watch, I'll show you. It's only 16 seconds long. So I got that feeling I had to leave. Now, this is me taking screenshots of that video. All right, stopping it, this is the thing I'm talking about here. Now, here's his little face.
I remember this. Yeah.
This is a face. This is him like ducked down. And look at the freaking horns.
Weird.
Oh, God. That one, you can see it a little bit better. Look. I just took a couple of screenshots trying to, I scared the little
up in Alaska, they talk about these little gnome creatures, these little woodsy little people stuff.
Yeah. Let's see, I circled it on here. Maybe he's protecting it for Dogman, Jen. I don't know. All I know is that I never ever want to experience that awful feeling I had. See, I was trying to play around with the different, shading and stuff. That one's a lousy one, but it was just, I never want to, I took these off the internet because I just thought they were amusing. The guy what's he seeing?
No, but we learned about this in the Bible. I think me and CFM were talking about it.
Yeah.
Where, like heaven comes down, but it's just above the earth.
Yeah.
Kind of like this big city above the earth like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Look he's got a little little mini telescope he's looking through to see it. Oh, that's because they're all waving at him. Look at that. Hi.
Isn't it interesting, though, that the whole thing is the building?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And then this is Dogman, isn't it? Is this supposed to be Dogman? There's a close-up of him, too, right there.
Yes,
Dogman.
This is Dogman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then what's this? This was on the internet. This was just some pictures that I had copied before, screenshots, because that was like amazing. I did have a video. I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is on my phone. I haven't put it in a folder yet. And if it's in Google Photos, I couldn't find it. I used to have a trail cam I'd attach on my deck at the other house. And I have pictures of coyotes, a family of raccoons, and all different things coming up. A baby bobcat came up one night. And,
Wow.
just walking up that way because they knew the chicken coops were down there and they smell food. The chickens were locked up in the coops, obviously, but they would just come walking through because there was a lot of woods there. But one night on the trail cam, there's nothing else on it. And this thing that looked to be about 3 or 4 inches long flooded across and flew right across the yard and then back. Do you think I can find that video? No. And it was
Wow.
like this. This is what I was thinking. Was it something like, a little fairy or something? I don't know.
Well, CFM saw something like this in one of his videos as well, about 3 or 4 inches long, I think it was.
Really?
Very similar to what you're describing.
Wow.
And one time when I was in Walmart, I know this is going to sound crazy, guys, but I was in Walmart with my mom a couple years back. And I'm in line and I'm looking over towards the bakery as I'm in line. And I see something coming down from the ceiling. And I thought it was a bird at first, because there's birds that get trapped in Walmart and they fly around sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, this had wings like that. And it came, and I could see the legs hanging down. And I watched this thing come fluttering down and go right down where like there was a big tray of pastries and stuff like that, like in the middle of the floor. I actually told my mom, hold this stuff that I got in my hand. And I walked over there and started looking all over for this thing. This, like what you're seeing here on the screen, that I saw come down from the ceiling and go between these packages and stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm like, it's got to be here somewhere. I just saw it. And it looked like a fairy. It literally looked like a fairy. I mean, it made me jump out of line and go check the fucking bakery section. That's how convinced I was. Because I was like rubbing my eyes. I'm like, what am I seeing right now? Is that a fucking fairy?
Oh
like,
my
no
God.
way. This is like about 4 years ago.
Well, and if you're aware of things like that and you kind of opened up to it, I don't know, like certain people say that, like once I saw that weird thing in the woods, like I'm opened up to seeing things like that now. I hope not. I don't want to see anything else.
But
like
our eyesight can only caught a small portion of the vibration of the what is it called again? The
not the energy.
No, not the energy. The it's oh my God. I'm having trouble with my English tonight.
I think you speak excellent English.
What's it called again?
The vibration of the.
No, it's
Maybe it's dimensional frequencies.
Yeah, the frequency that our eyesight can
see to comprehend.
Yeah. But the frequencies of light, it's much bigger. We can only see a small portion of it.
Yeah.
So
the week after I saw that, I was very shocked and I didn't want to go back to any deep woods. So this was a place the next city over to me in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and it's called Den Rock Park. So that's where the big rock was and the kid was rock climbing. And I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. And didn't I find some bricks at the bottom when I was doing that, right? Oh, yeah, of course. So there was a marshy area and these ladies were walking out from it. And I said, well, what's down that path? So I figured there's plenty of people around. I don't have to be afraid or anything, right? Because I was spooked from that other thing. And they said, oh, it's like a little marshy area. And there's a sign that shows you the birds that are down there and the wildlife you might see. So I said, I'm walking down. And I did a whole show on it from before. And I'm walking down and I didn't see anything. And I turned around. I looked at the marsh. It was pretty. They had all nice flowers there and birds. And I'm walking back from it. And all of a sudden I see this out of the corner of my eye. So that's why I'm saying, do you open yourself up to stuff? So I see this thing. And I'm like, well, what the heck is that? And then I think I got a closer one. There's a closer picture of it. So what is that supposed to be? There's nobody around there, right?
All right, circle it again.
Go back?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait, I can go in closer. Wait, there.
Yeah, circle this thing.
Right here.
Oh, that den thing there again. Look at that.
Yeah, well, what is it? Sasquatch house now? Am I going to start seeing them too?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Crazy. It's almost identical to the other one.
I know. So, and I went here because I knew there'd be other people around. Like there was a lot of cars parked and people are hiking and stuff. So I said, this is a good place to go. I'll go here. So I won't be just by myself in the woods, right? So then I think this is a little video. Yeah.
Huh. That thing is creepy looking.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, did I open myself up to, I think I said here, I'm leaving.
Yeah, you didn't share with audio, so we didn't hear it.
Oh. I
That
didn't share
doesn't look
mine.
as creepy as the last one you seen, but it
No.
definitely looks very strange. I mean,
Yeah.
deliberate.
It is strange. So I don't know. So there's a close up of it. I zoomed in. So I don't know what it is. It's just all like put together somehow, and whatever it is, I don't know. And that I left then. And then I didn't do any boots for 4.5 months.
Wow.
It scared me too much. Oh, this is what we do at the church once in a while. I host something like this every few months, and it's called the Night of Sharing, where we have people come share their stories, just exactly like what we're doing tonight, you know? And it's fun. It's because everybody has different kinds of stories, and this is for first ever Meltology 101 meetup. This is a plug for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it, Patty. It's going to be a good time.
It will be. Oh, this is cool. The ground was frozen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now they say that Bigfoot or Dogman might take a stick and break it off of the tree and jam it into the ground.
I heard a story years back about Bigfoot, some location in the Midwest or somewhere where trees were uprooted out of the ground and put back in upside down with the roots sticking out.
Oh my God.
Giant trees, like big ones. And
Yeah.
and they still, I think they're still there till this day. Nobody knows how. There's just, of course, a lore about giants behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh, and then these was just some of the pictures that I show at one of those things. That's why it looks a little bit grainy. I was taking pictures of printed out, from my printer.
Right.
This was the moon. And then I went in a little bit closer. And these were all snapshots again that I did like one after the other. And then this shows up. And it's some kind of an orb or something. And it actually continued to move closer to the moon right there.
Wow.
See that? And then I turned around and I did find it on the SD card on my camera. I had taken these with the camera. So there's the picture right there. That's pretty clear. Wow. Yeah. I don't know what it is. If I go in close on it, it just looks like, I don't know, it looks like some kind of little nucleus thing there. But what is it? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't see it with the naked eye again. Like I said, it was just, strange. So now this is my backyard. This is good. I'm just almost at the end of this because I know Shapu's got stuff to do too. This is how my backyard in the old yard looked. Okay. So see the gate, the fence that's right there. And there was a hanging plant and stuff. In the back part, towards the back where the grass goes, Marty would work on tractors and then at night take them from out front, at the end of the driveway and park them down back. So I just wanted you to see what this looks like. Okay. So let's see. So then see, there's the fence and there's nothing there. It's just stuff growing, weeds and stuff like that. So now this was one morning again, I couldn't sleep. So I'd been up all night and this is sunrise, July 31st, 2017. So here's a couple of tractors. Okay. Here's that thing hanging in the fence. So here, this is a John Deere tractor. So it's got a bright yellow seat. That's what that is. And this is another seat that's folded forward. So there's nothing there. Here's the sun way in the back here coming up. All right. So there's this. So I don't know what this is. So I did the same thing. I took a bunch of snapshots right in a row. And then I didn't see any of this stuff until, afterwards. So now the thing has moved from here to over here, whatever this is. Okay. And here's the sun still coming up. It's like, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then it went like this. So here's the sun. Now the sun is coming towards me, like towards us, out the screen. And this thing has just moved from way over here in these bushes to here. There's the yellow seat. You can still see it, right?
Uh-huh.
And here's whatever this is. And I was able to zoom in. Now here's the tractor. You can see the tractor behind it. And this looks like it's like to me, looks like two people. Here's one. Here's the other.
Huh.
Isn't that strange?
That is really strange.
It's really strange. So it was something in some kind of an orb or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe this one could be like a lens flare, but because the sun was really bright, it
Yeah,
could.
but
But
no, because it like
but
was a gradual thing, and it was with only a matter of seconds. You know what I mean?
yeah, but this, yeah, I know.
I
But
don't know,
the
but I know
sun
what
is
you're saying.
right
You
at
have
the
to
right
like
angle.
you have
You
to
know.
like disclaim the things. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shapu, check your messages on Facebook real quick.
Yeah, it's already done.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And then here's another one. This was from the same thing that same morning. So here's the plant's kind of dead now because this was like a couple months later. It was summer, right? So it's like dried out the plant. But I saw this thing here, this little thing, and what I did was there's the gate. This is inverted. There's the gate. So there's this little thing, and I don't know what it is, right? I tried to turn it around. I think I turned it around here. Here it is. Okay, look at this, Jen. What does this look like to you? Does this look like anything right here? It looks like a little leprechaun. Here's his head. Here's his hair. Here's his little body. His two legs. I don't know. It's just weird.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Isn't that strange?
Looking.
It's strange. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's nothing, but I don't know. It's just like weird things, like some kind of fairy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. And then this was, I was flying back from a convention out in Milwaukee, 2018. So of course they have the round windows to throw us off. We know all about that. But this I thought was like the sun. So I'm just taking random shots, right? So here we are, these little things, and it wasn't the window reflecting. So I don't know what they are, but they look like little, like infinity signs, you know, like.
Huh.
Yeah. Cluster of these. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Very
what they are.
No, because if it would be like the sun lens flare, it would be only like one. And if there were like double window, it would be two. But this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think the window is like 5 layers thick.
No.
No.
No. And then there's this one here. There's like a small orb right here. See, it's pinkish. And then I just see it looks like there's a white one there too. But see that orangey orb?
Yeah.
Just things that, you know. So when I'm flying down to Alabama, I'll be taking pictures out the window again.
Yeah, you definitely got to take pictures.
Oh, now this is classic. This was the same flight. I had a stopover. I think it was in Philly. So I'm in Philadelphia. It was like a 4-hour holdover. I hate that when that happens, but that was the only flight I could get. So this man, nice looking colored guy, right? He's walking around the area. Everybody's sitting nice and quiet and, you know, reading books or listening to audio stuff or whatever. And this guy keeps walking around all the time. So I just got this strange, like sense about something's up with this guy. I don't know what's going on. So I watched him. Now look at his eyes. This man, the whole time I watched him, he stayed right in the area where I was. He never blinked once. And look at his eyes. His eyes look like they're fake eyes, don't they? They're just like, I don't know. They were like too white. You know what I mean? Like they looked plastic, like plastic eyes or something. So what happened was I kept kind of keeping an eye on him because I just felt like he was like I don't know what I want to call him, a clone or a robot or something. I just don't know. So he kept walking around. He'd go over to the right. He'd walk down to look at the thing up above. And I'm thinking, well, he's just checking for a flight or something. But he kept walking back to the same thing and standing at this little area. It was like a little table, just standing there like that. I don't know what he's doing, looking at or anything. He's just standing there. So then I watched to see, he kept looking up. See what he's doing? He didn't see me taking pictures either, I don't think.
It's freaky.
So all of a sudden they said, okay, plane such and such is boarding. Now it wasn't my flight. So a lot of people got up, they went over and they got in line. So I moved down to an end seat so I could watch him better. I moved my bag and everything down with me. I moved down. All these people got up to get in the other line for that flight that was going to be going out. And I watched him and he walked down towards the line. Are you ready? And he disappeared. He was just gone. He never got in the line. I have no idea where he went. I made sure I had eyes on him. He was just gone. He was just gone. So what was that? I don't know. And then this was my little granddaughter's christening. We were talking about orbs. I think this is the last two I have, these two pictures here. So this was little Velena's christening. This is my son, Chuck. And this is my daughter, Carrie, the baby's mother. This is her husband, Matt. And this is his brother, Lance. And this was the minister, okay? It was a Lutheran minister. This is little Velena. Isn't she adorable? Well, look at these show up, these orbs. Now, of course, there was tons of pictures being taken. So these two orbs show up in this, okay? And then in the very next picture, which was right after that one, there's an orb here, and there's another bigger orb right behind it. Just strange. And there's one on, I knew there was another one on his sleeve.
One on his jacket and maybe one above his head too that starts.
Oh yeah, up here.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, I've seen these in my house. I've recorded them. Big ones like this. Like, see how that one's almost the size of the baby's head?
Yeah.
And
So
they're like
it's just-
pulsating.
It's
You
just
know, like,
interesting. It's just really interesting. Yeah, that's what I had. Now
it's
let's see if
really
I can
not just particles.
get out of this. All right. Now what?
Now, I think we're going to take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we're going to get into Shapu stuff.
All right. What do I have to do? Do I
Stop
stop
screen.
screen?
Here, let me remove it. There we go. We're good.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah.
Does a little bathroom break sound good
Yeah.
to you guys? It's a
Sounds
2-hour
good to
mark.
me.
All right, good. Let's put a song on, and we will be right back, guys.
All
Let me
right,
see what
cool.
we got here.
Later.
All right, we'll do this one. 5-minute break, guys. Here we go.
All right.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately,
because of you, we're in this mess. Forever you will acquiesce. How you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe. Dead of sight, dead of mind, news believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Busting through your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer. Inject your poison where your mask. All they have to do is ask. Never questioning authority. Blindly following like sheep. Yes sir, no sir, free backs fool. You television watching fool. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver, television watching news believer. free. Yeah. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Let the boon of tyranny begging for your slavery. They who have remote control. Let me know your very soul. Tune into the correct receiver. Television watching news believer. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Let the boon of tyranny begging for your slavery. They who have remote control. Let me know your very soul. Tune into the correct receiver. Television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
And we're back.
I'm laughing. I'm looking back at some of the chat.
Did you stop your screen share, Patty? Because I still see it.
What's the matter?
You know, yeah. Go back to that window.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
Oh, okay, nice.
I had to
All
hit
right.
stop screen. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Oh, that break went by so quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Patty, that was really cool.
Yes.
I was looking for my orb pictures, but I couldn't really come across them here in my folder. They're probably so far back, but I do downstairs on my computer. I'll share them with you. I have a lot of orb pictures, even outside orbs, right up back at this house when I first moved here.
Wow.
And you know, people like to say they're dust particles and stuff, but I mean, clearly they're not.
Yeah.
There's some.
Sometimes, if you can zoom in on certain ones, it almost sometimes looks like a face in some of them.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I've seen that. What do you think, Shabu?
Well, some can be like what you said, dust particles and stuff. But in some places, there's no dust, and you see a lot of them flying around.
Underwater orbs. Is there dust underwater? Because
But
I
yeah,
see underwater orbs. I don't
there's,
know.
there's some kind of dust or microscopic things, you know. But I will show you my orbs that I took.
Oh yeah.
And you'll see
Okay.
that. Okay, you cannot deny these ones.
Right.
You see?
Awesome.
So I have the one that CFM sent.
Yes. CFM it wants us to share his ferry video, little clip that he caught a ferry going across on his video recorder. So he's shown this before a while ago on one of our shows, and I know he showed it on his.
I think I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really, really compelling.
All right.
So what does that mean?
All right.
So what does that mean?
Yeah. Did you
I love
see
the
it?
beard.
So what does
Yeah.
This thing.
that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind
And
of
he
look
saw
like.
it.
Yeah, look, he's looking at it. What?
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
That's cool.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
There
like
it
it's
is.
probably about like 2-3 inches, maybe, or
Yeah.
maybe 2 inches.
Yep. Definitely.
Look at it. Look, it's just I don't
Yeah.
know. It looks like
Yeah.
what I saw. Looks like a little smaller than what I saw at Walmart. I saw this thing had big wings on it. I thought
Wow.
it was a big butterfly at first because we have big butterflies here in Alabama. We have some of the biggest butterflies,
Wow.
and it was not a butterfly. I saw legs hanging down, like, and I just said, "Hold this, Mom! I gotta go check something out." And I tore up that whole bakery section looking for this fucking thing. Nothing. It disappeared. People were looking at me like, "Are you okay? Did you lose something?" I'm just looking for something. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and tell people I'm looking for a fairy I just saw
Yeah.
come down. That's what I was doing. I couldn't believe I was doing it, but I know what I saw.
Wow. That's awesome. The one that I saw kind of resembles that. The one I told you, I have a video. I have to find it. I don't know what folder it's in. I'll find it for some another time, but that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I love the beard, CFM. Love it.
Yeah. That's
When he was
nice.
growing it out.
Is it CFM or Moses? You know, we don't know with his staff. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, CFM. Yeah, I remember showing. You showed this. So what? Yeah, my orbs. Yes. All right. So I
All
will
right.
tell you the situation here. This is what this was a New Year's party at the cottage. Years maybe in this it's 2011. Maybe 2011. But all the family was there except 2 person. They died that year. All right, and they both live in this shack. This one that we have 3 shacks on the property. One live in this one, and the other on the. So you can see like the pictures. Look, this is snow. You see, it was snowing. These are snow flakes.
Yeah.
These are lights from the shack right here. You can see the lights here.
Yeah.
All right, but the thing that I caught, and I caught it more than once. You can see again.
Oh
These
yeah.
are snowflakes. No, these are snowflakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
But these
Ooh.
Wow.
every light is moving because you see these lights. These lights are moving because I put the camera on a certain mode.
Yeah.
All the lights are moving. But what are these lights? You know,
Mm.
no idea whatsoever are they
Wow,
are.
they're
You know?
really cool.
And
Wow.
there are 2. Like I said, there were only 2 people missing,
Two
and
deceased. Yeah.
yeah, the 2
And they're
deceased.
identical in size. Like
Yeah,
Exactly.
perfect
yeah,
copies of each other. It's
exactly.
crazy. And
It's
it's got
so
that blue aura around it. Can you see the haze of blue around the
yeah.
edges? That's really cool.
I never saw it after that. The day after when I put it on the computer, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Look.
because
Wow.
these are not snowflakes. Because look, these are snowflakes.
Those are
Here.
snowflakes, right?
Yeah, but these things I don't even know what they are because there's only 2 lights. One here and the other is like behind here. You cannot
And
see it.
usually they're like translucent.
I was
These are
just
like
gonna say that. You
bright.
read my
Right.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really strong in their energy.
Yes, and they were the only place I took the other one. It was around this fire.
Huh.
Maybe the energy of the fire made them. And look, I will show you. Look,
Attracted them, you mean?
look,
Over that
I took many pictures, and there's not there. Look, these are the 2 lights. They're not like that. You can see snowflakes. All the people again, and yeah, I slept there all night. But yeah, and this look again.
What? Wow.
I caught one.
Wow.
But the funniest thing is that all night people look. My cousin at the same moment look. He got right in the way of this orb, and he made like the face. He looks like my uncle that died
Oh my goodness.
What?
at the same place. Look, you can see it.
Oh,
Wow.
that's weird.
And I asked, "Hey, why did you do that?" He said, "I don't know." He just did it.
Wow.
So these are my orbs that I caught, and
Wow.
I cannot explain anything. It's not dust. It's not light. It's not snow. I have no
answer. Right.
answer for it because look, my grandfather that died. This was his favorite drink. He drank that
Oh.
every day, and people
Wow.
were doing like these really weird faces all night. You know, like, every time it was even me. You know.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that party was something, and it
Well,
was the
that's
last time
amazing.
that we all got together
Oh.
Wow.
to celebrate maybe the death of these two of family members.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Was one taller than the other? Because I know it's on an angle, this photo.
yes,
but
yes.
I
My
was
so one's
grandfather
taller.
was taller than his
Yeah.
son. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
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 Those are awesome.
Because you can see like there's took many pictures. There's not other places that we have that same thing. It's just yeah.
Wow.
You guys had a lot of fun at this party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a good party.
Like I said, I fell asleep right there, and I maybe got up like at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was right, yeah, and it was not cold, there's snow everywhere, and yeah, this was a cool
Oh,
party.
Chris says that souls supposedly weigh 21 grams. Now, I have heard
Oh,
them
yeah.
measuring and weighing the
Yeah,
body,
bodies.
and then noticing, if they come back and weigh it an hour after it's deceased, it's 21 grams lighter than what it was when it first passed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because the soul tends to linger a little,
Yeah.
and then releases.
Another one I heard years and years ago. Now I haven't heard it since, but I remember reading something a long, long time ago that when somebody passes in, like everybody had feather pillows back then, down pillows, and when they passed, something about like some type of a circle or a wreath was formed inside the pillow. You could feel it, and they ripped them apart and look at them, and it was like some kind of it was all put together, like
You
know
mean
what I mean?
just as if they died in bed on that pillow?
Yeah.
Okay, so their head was there when they died on the pillow, and then it gets. That's interesting. Wow, I never heard that.
Yeah. Google it, because it was years and years ago. I read an article about it. Yeah.
Huh.
I forget the name of it. Feather crowns or feather wreaths or something. I forget.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. I'll have to see if I can find it. But Shapu, go ahead. You can continue on with whatever
Yeah,
you got.
that was like we were on the orbs. I just wanted to get these orbs out. Yeah, no, the rest is just experiences and what happened to me in my life. And the first time I had this that I could have died was like I was 3 years old, and I don't remember. I only heard stories of people telling me what happened, because I have this. There's a scar here on my head, maybe 4 inches long.
Wow.
So you can see it because my hair is there. But they say that do you remember? You probably do. In the 70s, they had these big lamps you put on tables. They were like big ceramic lamps made with like metal hanging. That's what they say. I don't even remember. But they say something happened. I guess nobody wants to really talk about it because it's something. But they found me with the lamp sticking in my head.
Oh,
it fell from the cupboard and landed on my head, and it was stick in a pool of blood, they say. And they bring me to the hospital, and the hospital said that it was a millimeter from my brain.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so I survived that thing. But
did you have an outer body experience during that episode?
I don't know.
You were little, right?
Yeah. I was only 3 years old, so
so
I don't remember anything. But when I asked my mom if she doesn't want to talk, no, she probably wasn't there. She said that my
uncle felt bad. Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle found me like that, so he's the one that was like babysitting me, I guess. But
I bet you he never babysat again.
I don't know. It's just a story that people tell me, because when I asked my mom, what's that scar that I have, oh, that was that, and they were really vague, probably because they don't really know. They don't really know, they weren't there. They just found me in that position. It's just crazy. But after that, might be 3 years later. Yes, I was probably 6 years old. I lived with the family because my mom couldn't take care of me because she was young. I saw my mom maybe like only in the weekends or 2 weekends, or maybe it's because of that thing. I don't even
maybe.
So I was with that family. I don't even remember the name or anything. They just take care of me, and I was in that park. There's a park and there's swings, swings, and there were kids playing around that swing, and there was a kid. We were looking at the kid. He was trying to go around, trying to make the turn around that swing, and at that time the swings were like thick like wood,
Yeah.
thick wood.
Yeah. And the
And
chains were thick too
yeah,
on them.
chain with
Oh, yeah.
big
Oh,
thick
brother.
wood. And we were just looking at him. Let's go, go, go! And somebody just pushed me in my back, and I landed right in front of the guy swinging, and
Oh,
the swing hit me right. Is it this side? I
oh
kinda,
my God.
I have a scar right here. But the only thing I remember of this, I heard people like screaming because they didn't know me. People that lived around that section, because I only live at that place because they're one that took care of me. So I could only hear things, and it's like I was out cold, I guess.
Wow.
And I opened my eye once. Somebody was running with me in their hands, and I just make that, and I saw my hand in
The
blood.
blood.
That's the only
Mm.
thing I remember. I remember
Your
waking up.
head bleeds a lot too when it
Yeah.
gets damaged. A lot of
Yeah,
blood comes out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had like it was maybe 10 stitches, like
Oh my goodness.
all around here. The only thing I remember is that I don't even remember being at the hospital. I remember waking up in my bed.
Hmm.
That's all. What happened? I remember getting hit on the head and waking up in my bed. Nothing
Wow.
between, nothing in between all this time. I can't remember none of it. And that was my second time like out cold.
Wow.
And there's so much that happened. And the next time, maybe 3 years after then,
You and these every 3 years. This isn't good.
I don't know,
Wow.
we were at indoor. What's it? Does it called a wave pool? Do you have that in your area? There's
A waiting pool. Yeah.
wave pool. It was
Yeah.
an indoor. I was in a camp, and I was in the wave pool, and I didn't know how to swim much, but at some times there's times there's no waves.
Yeah.
You can go and people just swim. So I swam into the deep part of it. With a mattress, with a floating mattress.
Yeah.
And then I heard like the bell to announce that the wave will start. So I move away, and there's like a ladder to get out. So I took the ladder with one hand and
Mm.
tried to move up. And at the same time, another person just took my mat because he was seeing that I was going out. So he took my mat away from me, and I didn't have time to just get out. So the
Oh.
first wave just hit me. And then I
Oh my God.
yeah, what
You went under.
slipped. My hand slipped, and then I don't remember anything. I remember the people when I woke up. Somebody was giving mouth to mouth to me,
Oh my God.
and I asked what happened, and the people told me that the lifeguard went under the water to take you out.
Oh.
I was out
You're like
cold.
a cat. You have 9 lives.
Somebody told me the same thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So Patty, I
yeah.
was thinking
So
that.
they gave me mouth to mouth, and I came back. But between the time, I don't remember nothing.
Wow.
Between those two, it's just crazy. But like I said, my other story, I had some guardian angel or something behind me, because. But during that time, also, I had these, like I said, these sleep paralysis, like almost every night. But all the stories that I heard of these sleep paralysis, people were on their back. But for me, all the time I was laying on my belly, face down in my pillow. I couldn't breathe.
Oh my God.
And I know it was so scary.
So what did it feel like? Did it feel like there was a weight on you, pushing you down, keeping
Yeah.
you down? Like you could like tangibly feel this weight on your body?
Yeah, look, I'll show you what people. You see this?
Hold on here.
People like feel like they can't move. That this is what
Right.
I couldn't
Like
move.
you're
But
chained down. Yeah.
all
like
of these
those
stories,
things.
they're all back on it. You feel like something is pushing you, but
Wow.
me, it was my face in the fucking pillow. Every time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
That's
couldn't breathe.
awful.
I couldn't move, couldn't lift my head, couldn't breathe at all until the last breath, when I said to myself, like, okay, this is it. I'm done. And this is when it let go. It was
Really?
like that for
It's like some sick form of torture, like waterboarding. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, Jen. Exactly,
That's
Jen.
demonic.
Awful.
Demons would do that kind of shit.
It was like that for
That's
almost,
demonic. That's
yes,
awful. That's terrible.
almost a year. I didn't want to go to sleep anymore.
Oh my
I
God.
I was scared to to not make it.
Now, how old were you when this was occurring, when it first started?
8, 9 years old.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
About, yeah, and I didn't know what it was until later
Look
in
at
my
that
life.
fear. That fear that it generated in you during that period when it was doing that to you, it was sucking off that fear. Just like Monsters
Yeah.
Incorporated,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that little kids movie and stuff.
Yeah.
This is
But-
what these demons do. It's the loosh they're after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like at the last breath of my life, I'd like, okay, I give up. I can't move. I can't breathe. It's over. I would. It was like it let go. Yeah, each time it's just so
Wow, that's
scary.
creepy. That's
And
terrible.
yeah, and it happened to me later on, one other time, but I've read about it and I knew what it was, so I
Mhm.
just let it happen until it let me go. But
Wow.
what I've read about, it was maybe some kind of out of body experience, but you don't know it, because out of body experience does the same type of
Have you ever told this thing to go away? It's
Yeah.
not allowed near you, or denounce it in the name of
no, at that age, you
I
don't
got
think.
you. At that age, you're
Yeah.
not really thinking that, right? But
No,
you had an
no.
idea of what was going on, though.
Yeah, because
Jesus
when it let go, you just go up and there's nothing. You're alone in your room in the dark. It's just
Wow.
Now that's
don't-
awful.
Now,
yeah.
could you actually feel like hands pressing down on you, or
Yes,
was
you feel something on your back.
Pressure.
like,
yeah.
do you feel it move at all? Like,
No,
is it
just something, but you can't move. But something is like holding you there. If
Against your will.
I
But you
can't
never
even,
said
like,
like get off, leave me alone. You never said
I
you
can't
couldn't.
talk. I have the
No.
pillow right here. I can't breathe. I can't move. I can't, like, it's just
wow?
Oh,
just
that's awful. That's
Yeah.
awful. That's
Yeah,
demonic. That's
yeah. I
Well,
had
how
that
long did this go on? 8 years old until what age?
maybe like a year,
wow.
that it happens. Just
You know, it wasn't
but-
probably just happening to you. It could have been happening with different aged kids, adults, even
Yeah.
your whole area
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
These demons, when they're out and about and going around, they're going to go to households that have issues, drinking problems, maybe arguments just happen, resentment feelings in the house, and then it's like an open door for them to come in and to
yeah, probably because the relation with my mother and everything. It could be something related to all of this, but
Plus, remember, I mean, we try to do good, and there's good spirits. I mean, like God's workers, the angels and stuff, the archangels. But remember, we know who else is at work in this world, and we can see it going on all around us. And he's got helpers too. So
Yeah.
that's like one of his demons.
absolutely.
Oh, that's horrendous. That's terrible, though. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I know. It's just, but like I said, now I don't sleep on my belly anymore.
I don't blame you.
just because of that. But
I'd sleep in a recliner instead.
Right?
I'm afraid.
but it happened to me later on. But like I said, I knew what was going on, so I just
It's definitely
waited.
a form.
I just waited
form
until
of
the last
torture.
breath.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, it's
take
like
you to the
It
brink
is.
of ending your life and then releasing you, I
Yeah.
mean, and
But like I said, everything happens for a reason. Maybe this reason was to go over the fear of death. I don't know,
Maybe.
because for every
but
night.
eventually it stopped.
Yes, at one point it just stopped for a long time. I didn't have any of this afterwards until later when I researched what OBEs was about, because it happened to me when I another time. When was my first experience? My first OBE was later. Like, this was like at 8, 9 years old. My first OBE was like probably at 20, 26 years old.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and that one was really crazy, because I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and we were sleeping together. And I remember at that night lying on my bed, and I remember my cat coming like on my pillow, and he was wrapped around my head, and he was purring like he
Oh,
Oh,
never
wow.
purred
he was
before.
taking care of you.
And
Yeah.
maybe that vibration made me like bring me out of my body, because I didn't even know what was happening that time, because I when I realized that thing, because I was, but there was like a big black shadow in my in the corner of the room.
Uh-huh.
That's why I panicked, because I was looking at myself. What the fuck's going on?
Looking down, yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw this black shadowy thing in the corner. I
Oh.
said, "Oh my god, what the fuck is
Like
going on?"
like those shadow people, right?
Yeah, and then
Or some of them have like black hats on and stuff, big black hats
Yeah,
on.
what's
Yeah.
that about? I read about that.
It was just a black shadow.
Shadow
Yeah.
people.
Don't even know if it was human or something. It was just weird.
Wow.
But when I saw that, I panicked, and I was what's going on?
Mm.
And it was like a sleep paralysis again. I couldn't move anything, and I yelled to my girlfriend, réveille-moi, réveille-moi. I
She
said,
didn't
like,
hear you.
wake me up, wake me up. No,
Oh
she
my
didn't hear me.
goodness.
And the only thing that woke her up, I could move my big toe, and I scratched her leg with my big
Oh,
toe.
wow.
And then she turned around, and when she woke me up, I was screaming to wake me up. And she said, "Yeah, I heard something. You were blabbling. It was like not words coming out. It was just like
Babble talk, yeah.
blabble talk." That's what she
My
said to me.
God.
And that was the first time I had this experience. It was
Wow, those
crazy.
are terrible experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I started reading about it and finding that it's happened to a lot of people,
Mm.
and they call it like out of body experience. And that's when I start researching it and looking at these videos of Robert Monroe, because they did experiments with
Mm.
that type of thing in the 70s to try to make people have these OBEs
Yeah,
with the vibration.
yeah.
And that's why I said that maybe the
cat.
vibration of the cat made
Mm.
me do that thing that night. But yeah, that was
I
crazy.
definitely think there's things all around us all the time, good, bad, and different. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That we're it's a parallel dimension. It's paranormal or
Yeah.
paradise. It's adjacent to or just beside.
Yeah.
That's what para
Mhm.
means.
Yeah.
And sometimes the veil is thin and we can see them. I've never personally seen an actual ghost or anything like that. I've had ghostly stuff happen, but I've never actually seen anything except for
Yeah,
the word.
but I say this to you, but I said again, I don't even believe in ghosts, but I saw that. fucking
But he
thing.
has all this stuff happening.
Yeah, yeah. But this made me to realize that we are not our bodies. We are not just our
Yeah.
bodies. We are
Right.
more than this. And from then on, it changes your life totally.
Yeah.
Because you know that death is just another stage, of
Right.
life. It's not the end. And
we shouldn't be so attached to our bodies and this because there are people
take
that
care of your body, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
take care of your
Sure,
body,
sure,
but at the same time, we have to if we grew up knowing this knowledge, it would be already instilled in us that we will go through a transition at some point. We wouldn't look at death so fearfully. You know what I mean? So final. So we have no answers. You know what I mean? Like we would have some answers. We would have some. They've kept all this knowledge from us because they don't want us to connect with our true selves, our true spirituality, and stay connected to the Creator. They've put space between us and the Creator with NASA. You know, and this whole ball Earth thing and everything. They're doing everything they can to hide anything that has to do with the afterlife.
Yeah. Right. But I show this small 5-minute clip of if people don't know about the OBEs, because not everybody know what they are all about. But he's gonna like a small introduction to what it is.
He's the older man, right? I think I've seen some of these.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I have seen some of them.
Y'all see this?
All right. Yes.
Intangible. That even the results of it, how do you define something that is so intangible that even the results of it may not show up for weeks and perhaps months? Gateway in and of itself is properly defined as,
does this sound okay?
Say, a means of freedom, a new kind of freedom that perhaps you've never before experienced in your life. A chance at this new kind of freedom. Also, it's an exploration, say, of consciousness, and most particularly your consciousness. How does it do this? Well, I'm sure you're aware of, right at this particular moment, what we call hemisync, or hemisync, a loose term that we use for hemispheric synchronization, which is what you're here to do, to experience the process of hemispheric synchronization. If you don't know about it, perhaps I should hand out some brochures that tell you what hemisync is. Suffice to say that it is a method. It is one of the tools, and perhaps the basic tool that we use in Gateway. And speaking of tools, that's what the real process is the teaching of mental tools to achieve this freedom that we speak of. And that freedom can only be expressed by your own consciousness, not mine, not any of the people who help you go through this Gateway process. It comes from your own actions. Now, we have only one particular piece of dogma that you have to consider, and that is that you, the essence of you, are more than your physical body. What that means beyond that particular statement is part of the exploration of consciousness that you yourself will enter into. Consciousness, such a loose word to describe something that's so tremendously vast. And human consciousness in and of itself, what we know of it today, is only perhaps a fraction of the reality of what human consciousness can be. Gateway helps you explore the borders, the edges of human consciousness as we know it. The tools we provide, again, help you do and perform that exploration. One of the things that we insist on, that you do understand, that Gateway does not guarantee that you will have an out-of-body experience. Now, of course, I know you, a lot of you perhaps came saying, oh, I will have an out-of-body experience. Percentage-wise, I would say that, 15% of the people who attend a Gateway session have an out-of-body experience during the session. The tools are for consciousness, and the out-of-body state as we know it is a form of consciousness. The tools that we provide you, perhaps at some time, may let you achieve this state of being out of body. But there's no guarantees in this particular program that will take place either during the program itself or subsequently. If so, I think you check with our friendly supervisors who are waiting nearby, and they will be glad to say, well, I'm sorry, this is not for you. If that's your total expectation, because we can't guarantee it. How could we guarantee what any human being will do? The opportunity, yes. The possibility, yes. The tools, as I said, yes. Guarantee, no. So, with that in mind, and that this is an exploration of consciousness for you, if you learn these tools and you apply them, indeed, it will give you an indescribable kind of freedom in the days, weeks, the rest of your life. That's what these tools can do.
I'll just show you. It's a 30-minute video. I put the link in. It was just like the introduction to a little bit to tell you that it's your own thing, your own mind, that creates all of this. It's your own belief. And for me, these things happen only when not bad things, but things in my life weren't, like I said earlier, weren't going that good.
Mm-hmm.
I had these experience only at that particular time, not every time. Because when your life is going all good and everything it's all love and thing, you don't think about this. You don't really need it in your life. But when you need it, it's gonna be there for you.
Right.
This is what it's all about. But I have another video. We'll probably show it at the end of him talking about his own realization on all of his. It was towards the end of his career, and he talked about what he does. He did it, these experience for like 20 years with people,
long time.
talking about it, making people show having these OBEs.
Well, let me ask you this. Do they ever describe like a silver cord that connects their outer body, a spirit, to their physical body? Because when we do pass over to heaven or the other place, whatever the heavenly realms, that cord gets cut at that point.
Right.
But as long as you're still connected with that cord, you can come back into your body. Which,
In fact, does he describe it all? Or has it happened to you after an OBE? When you're coming back into your body after traveling, even there's like a snap sound. It might feel like a snap sound, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes with me, when I've been dreaming and all of a sudden I take off and I might feel like I'm flying or whatever.
Yeah.
What happens with me, it's always the same thing for myself, is I feel like I'm standing on something like a high, like a cliff or something, a high cliff. And when I snap back into my body, I fall and I wake up.
Yes.
That's how
I have fallen back into my body. I've been laying in bed. I'm sorry, I'm chewing a cracker. And just suddenly feel like I just fell into my body. Like I started to hover out and maybe I woke up and it was like, boom, I slammed back down into my body.
Yeah, you feel it. Sometimes when you feel tired a bit and you feel like falling, but that's the start of it, But you come back, you don't want to let your body go. That's the problem with most of people. They don't want to. If you don't want to, you won't get it. You have to accept it and be aware that's what is going on with you at that moment, and then you go. But you can do it also with some kind of meditation or like thinking. Sometimes you can have like this spiral thing come out of your head. I had it once, but I didn't like that feeling
Mhm.
like been awake and leaving your body. I don't like it. I rather
Oh,
like
and almost like you're spinning out
yes,
of it. Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
out of your
I don't.
crown chakra. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah,
they say
yeah.
the seat of the
This is
soul is
even
in your.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's even scarier than being like lying down and it happens like without knowing. I like it
Yeah.
better when it happens like this, but it happened to me. I tried it and I achieved it and I didn't like it, so
Mm.
I just didn't do it anymore.
Hmm.
But everybody can try it and do it if they
Mm.
knew it. But these type of vibration, like you said, sync really like helps you change your vibration in your body
Mm.
to see things.
I was thinking about what you said about the cat purring because one of my cats, the big cat, Rocky, he's a 16-pounder, Maine Coon, and he jumps on the bed every night between Marty and I, and he sleeps like he leans into my pillow, and the
Uh-huh.
purring actually wakes me up because I can hear it. And sometimes he purrs different than other times. There's like a different sound once in a while to it, a different level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It could
interesting.
could help. It could help. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like somebody said, like some Johnny LSD did that for me. Yeah, it's kind of, but you have no control because it's the drugs doing it to you. You have no control over it.
Right.
You're just in a ride
You're
in
along
with
for
the
the ride
LSD.
at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I'll
You're
tell
just,
you something. I was it's before I got in that car accident I told you about before I was 21. So it was probably about 20. I suffered from classic migraine headaches my whole life. Now as I've gotten older, they've lessened in frequency and the symptoms have lessened, thank goodness, right? But I still occasionally will start with the aura. It's occipital. So it starts with like zigzaggy lines will come into my eyesight to my vision. So I've learned to deal with them and do without taking anything for them. And I just, lie down if I can. And in about an hour, it dissipates. It goes away and I'm all right. I feel I have a headache. I'm actually glad when the actual headache comes because I know that other stuff's over because it blinds you. And that's a little scary. So after almost 70 years, I was diagnosed when I was 11. So I've had it my whole life. My parents did. So it's a genetic thing, I guess. But when I was about 20, the doctor gave me a new prescription to try for my migraine headaches. Now, I remember what they looked like. I'll never forget what they looked like. It turns out it was some type of belladonna, okay? And he said, take one of these right away when you start to have a headache. And I remember my mother said, here, take one of these pills, because I said, I can't see. And then your speech gets slurred, almost like a little mini stroke, like a TIA. She said, take this now. So I took it. And I went up to my room and I lied down. And when she came up to check me, I was screaming because I said to her, I can't get down. I was up at the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
It catapulted me out of my body. In other words, I was up here. So it can be drug induced, which I wouldn't recommend.
yeah.
And after that, my mother flushed everything down the toilet and said she's never taken those again because
Wow.
it was awful. It was awful. And it took a few hours before I kind of came out of it. It was awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look up these, you can find a lot of these video because he did a lot of research, like videoing people while they trying to get in and out and stuff, and they have the interviews before and after what people saw and did, and everything was for the.
They were doing stuff like that in the hospitals when people would be on the operating table. They would leave their body and float up to the ceiling, and they would have messages on top of the light fixtures. And they would say, okay, well, if you were on the ceiling watching us work on you, what did you see up there? And they would say, well, I saw the number 57 on the top of this light. So they knew that they were really seeing it and they were outside their body and stuff, but they were just kind of just looking down on everything.
Yeah.
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 That's what that's what it does, And I did have that same another kind of out of body experience while doing mushrooms. I had probably too much, but
But then you feel out of control, right?
yeah, I couldn't
That's how
control
I
anything.
felt.
I was just looking at myself and looking at my friends, looking at me,
Yeah, I know, it's freaky.
I was just sitting in the middle of the room. And look, I'm saying that I was sitting. I was sitting in the middle of the room. I'm looking at myself, like as I look. Why am I zombie? And they are all around me, and they come see me, and I'm all cold because I was out for a long time. And because
It almost makes you feel like you've gone to another time zone, another timeline,
Yeah.
and you're over here looking at you over here, and it's like, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Freaky.
I know.
Freaky.
It was just this one. This one made me realize that okay, it's really really real that you can be and looking at you and other things, because I could go out the street and like just start running and take off, start running and just not fly like a bird, not like this, just jump.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, just jump and you can fly over the city.
Yeah.
And see everything. It's just
But
weird.
when I do that in my dreams, it starts in my dreams. Not a lot. Like every once in a great while, it'll happen. I don't like Superman go like this. I just go up, and I'm going over trees. I'm looking down at the trees that are down below me. I'm looking at the tops of the trees, and when I land, I just all of a sudden, very slowly stop, and I land upright on my feet. It's strange. It's very strange. It's nice. It's a nice feeling to be flying like that. You feel like
because we could really do that in the spirit realm. Here, we need to get on an airplane to fly. We need to go telephone to talk to somebody. I could astro travel to you. We could have a great conversation, spend the whole day together. My body's safe and sound right here in my little stupa covered in gold. You know what I mean? Tune my antennas, tuned to my frequency. I think this is what a lot of these stupas were in India and stuff. Because they even show statues sitting inside the stupas. I think a lot of the stupas were made for people to go in and astro travel to different locations and meet with people, talk with people, have other experiences while their body is down wherever it is stationed at. Because I think the stupas are tech.
Yeah, but it's hard to remember all that happened during these experiences. It's for me. I don't know about other people, but I don't remember all of it. I remember only snippets of what happened, I remember flying, but between what I did, I don't. So I don't know totally why, but like I said, it happens to me only when things got bad in my life to probably give me messages to stuff, but I just remember another experience of something like probably an angel or something just stopping me from death again. I was at my not my grandfather, but my dad's girlfriend, that is now his wife today, because he remarried after my mom, and we were at their parents' house at a place. It's a small town, in small towns there's only one main road, and every house it's there, and there's all the cars just pass there. So the park, I wanted to go to the park. I was probably like 13 years old. The park was on the other side of that street. So I said, I'm going to the park. So I start running, and out of nowhere, there's this car just coming like at really fast. And I don't know how. It's like I hit like a glass pane right in front. I stopped like, I don't know how to explain it.
You didn't get hurt?
No, I saw the tires pass millimeters from my foot, but something hit me. I can go. I was running all the fastest I can, and I stopped right there, like path right into the wall.
Wow!
Invisible wall, and the car just and everybody turned around and said, "Oh, are you okay?" Yeah. Wow. What happened? I'm okay. Nothing happened. But,
just like with your father in the van. That's incredible.
Yeah, but that was way before it. It's
wow.
So you're here for a reason. you're here for a reason, and you have not accomplished your mission yet. So
Yeah,
you know all these things. Something's guiding you through it all.
Yeah, and you know these divine intervention, I really believe that they happen because it happened another time again.
Yeah.
I was like swimming at a river, and there's a big waterfall, like a 3-stage waterfall, and I was walking on the first one, you know, from rock to rock to rock, and everybody was doing this. And once I decide to, everybody's like having dinner on the side, and I finish, I want to go swim, so I just go on the side of the first fall, and I slipped, and I grabbed the rock, and I said, help me to buy. People just laugh. They think I'm just making fun, you know. And I now help me, and I couldn't hold on anymore, and I don't know. I had this. If I had the strength to pull myself, or something just pulled me up.
Something pulled you up.
I think that's something pulled me up, because I just
yeah
pulled up, and okay, I'm good now. It's just
an angel.
Exactly.
Well, your guardian angel must sit there like this sometimes and go, "Oh, not again."
Right? Gotta work overtime, Shapu.
Yeah.
And I got so many car accidents and stuff like that. It's just just crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But now I don't do anything, you know. I just sit calm in my house and don't go anywhere. So
Yeah, your guardian angel's getting a little break. Like,
yeah.
Finally chilling out.
Wow.
Crazy things. But you know, we all have these guardian angel, I guess.
I think we all do. And I think one thing that we can say for sure, that the spirit realm is real. And what we have going on here is just a very small slice of the whole picture. And it seems like there's a lot going on in the spirit world. And that's why it's a good idea to be right with God and Jesus and get right in your heart with stuff. Don't be allowing in and messing around with stuff you shouldn't. And always be cautious, because their job is to deceive us 24/7. That's all they're here to do, is deceive. And yeah, I love paranormal stuff, because anybody who's been to the other side and come back has always said, even if it was a hellish experience, that it is way more real over there than it is here. Okay. So let that sink in for a minute. And there are people who've gone to what they call hell and come back for that reason, to specifically tell people like, hey, maybe, you know, you want to get right with stuff because you don't want to go there. That's for sure.
Right. They've been given another chance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to reap what you sow in this life. And if you're not sowing the right seeds, you're not going to reap the right stuff. And it could go really wrong for you in the afterlife. And, you know, I don't know. I just like pray in Jesus' name. And, you know, people are going to do what they want to do. Everybody has free will. But at the end of the day, we're all going home.
Yes. The next video that I want to show about Robert Monroe. That's because
going home. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yes. Because all of his life, you know, he did that. He did this. You know, trying to find what is going on with other people and stuff. But in this video, you will see that at the end of it, all of his thing, that the one thing that he forgot about was himself. You know,
was him.
Trying to he explained it really good when he realized that all of these things was for him to realize what to do with his life, you know. And at the end, what to do with the creator when he goes and meet him, you know, not to kneel before him, but to shake his hand and tell that thank you for the experience that you gave me, you know. It's
right,
just crazy.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, but at the same time, we're all gonna be there one day. You know, none of us are gonna get out of here alive.
That's right.
You know, messages from the other side, ghostly apparitions, things moving around your house, possessed cars, demon cats. You know, all this stuff. They exist to some extent, and the veil is thinning the closer and closer we get to this apocalypse unveiling before us every day. I think every day more truths come out, all this stuff that we've been learning over the last few years, the whole time the veil's thinning along the way. And we're getting closer to whatever's coming. You know, and we can all feel something's coming. Who knows when, and who knows what it's going to be, but I want to be on the right side of things when this one comes around. You know what I mean? Right. I want to get out of here. I'm not suicidal. I always say that, but I want to go home. I've always longed to go home. I've always known I wasn't from here. I'm just kind of visiting, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not with
Passing
these
through.
Yeah, it was great having you on, Patty. I really
Thank you
enjoyed
for having me.
Yes,
I'm thrilled
Patty.
to be here. Thank you.
It's been a while since we have a nice chat together. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Sapu, thank you so much for sharing your stories. I know everybody's been
Yeah.
dying to hear what you had to tell us and everything. It's just fascinating. Your life is
I
just
know it's just crazy.
wow.
But
I
all of
heard-
this, you know, I figured out like when I did my introspection into my own life, what happened, and meditating with everything that's going on into your life, and these memories come back to you, and you know what happened and why and stuff like this. It's just crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people who come back from the other side have near-death experience have a lot more clarity in life.
Yeah.
And some of them are even depressed because they don't want to be here. They know how shitty it is here and they know how great it is over there and they just want to go back. But at the same time, they know they can't kill themselves and just go back. They came back because they have something to fulfill, even though it could be another 10 years before they realize what that is.
Right.
And that in itself torments them. But there is another side, and we all belong there. We all belong in the love of Jesus and the Creator. It's going to just envelop us. And, you know, if you're somebody who just goes through life treating everybody like shit and you're going to reap that kind of stuff on the other side.
Right.
You're not going to go to where the love and abundance of joy and happiness is.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you want me to show the last video before?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. After that, we'll get ready to get on out of here.
Yeah, because it's a good closing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, we talk about more than melted buildings.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Yeah. It's fun melting buildings, but you know sometimes you need other topics to fill in. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I finally said,
All right.
what I did, I finally said, wait a minute. The basic that I had missed was what I'd been riding this vehicle. In other words, I've been using this navigator and this driver, this vehicle all these years, and I had not taken the trouble to find out who's doing the driving, or as we in America put, what's under the hood of the thing I'm driving. And so I did. I began saying, that is a basic. And in looking at that basic, I opened a whole new pattern of finding out what that answer was. And that's a long thing, but that in turn did move me in a totally different direction and brought me to the knowledge that anything that I could conceive of now as a goal was inadequate to what the options or the availabilities are after I have graduated as being human. And that is the limitation that I see that humans place upon and I was a part of, probably still am, as a matter of fact. We place upon ourselves by our belief systems. We think there's only certain things that we can do, quote, after we leave here and are non-physical. We forget these other very simple patterns, that these are all based on local ideas, local ways of thinking and doing, or even what we call intelligence is only a very human system of measurement. And here are all these things, and they suddenly, by this process, opened up to me to discover what the graduate human, the being who graduates from this human system of learning, can be. And that's what I mean by when I say go on the interstate. The goals are so spectacular, so far beyond anything that we can even consider, that they are prime targets for anyone who has curiosity, which I do. Prime targets who of the scientists to get into something where the real action is. You run out of action in time space. There's a limit, but there's no limits in this. In this whole spectrum of consciousness that I say, that's what I'm talking about. How far does it go? I don't know how far it goes, but I do know one thing, that one of the routes that you can go, and that was one of my explorations, because I went and explored all this to see these potentials. One is that one route that you can take, and you can see the source of this, and this is a lot of the humankind. We all have a yearning, and then we express it in the desire to go home. We express it in our going outward, in affinity, looking for other intelligent life, looking for things out in the universe, all these kinds of things. But the real part of it is we really want to do this key thing. We're looking for something else. And what we're looking for is the thing that's built into us from the beginning. And that is that, and we express it in our religions, we would like to go meet our Maker. Now, all I can tell you is that at the very least, because this could go on for a long, long time, I know how one could get on the interstate to go meet your Maker. And all I want to do, I have not met that Maker yet, but what I would like to do at some point, and that totality of me, and that's another story, we would like to go and, quote, not prostrate ourselves at the foot of our Maker, but let's say to shake that Maker's hand and say what a magnificent engineer he is, what a beautiful designer he is, she is, he, she, and go get into a new game with the Maker. And that's only one. And seems endless options that one can take. You can be a Maker yourself if you want. What you learn here are the basic tools of being a Maker. That ought to take it, should it not?
Oh, indeed.
How old is this video?
I don't know.
It looks
The
like it's
older
from
ones
like,
then.
yeah, it looks like it's a little like maybe like from the 90s or something.
Yeah, maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I never saw him before or heard anything. What's his name again?
Oh no, Dr. Robert Monroe.
Yeah.
Robert
I've
Monroe.
seen a
Okay.
couple of his videos before.
Yeah, they
And
they
it's
made
funny when he talks about what he just said now, in the Bible, and I'm not a big Bible person, believe me. I don't know about you, Jen, but I had nuns too, and we didn't really read from the Bible per se. They'd read us a passage and say, "What do you think?" You know, they wouldn't. We didn't really study it, but I know that there's how many times that Jesus, when he'd talked to God, to his Father, he did it in the positive way, like the intent. He was going to do something like to cure someone that was blind, but he'd say, "Thank you, Father, for what you have done," before he even put the hand on the head to do it. You know what I mean?
Right,
He did it
right.
in the positive aspect. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's praise over worship.
Yeah.
yeah.
Divinity does not need to be worship. It's divine. You know,
Right.
the Satan, the evil side, and all that stuff, they
Right.
demand worship and sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah, they made like a character of Robert Monroe in The Simpsons. I don't know if you remember. There was this guy that did experiments in the first first seasons of The Simpsons. There was a doctor called Robert Monroe, and he did experiments, and it was like just a
It was like a mad scientist kind of guy. Was
no,
he?
not the mad scientist. He
Oh.
he had like glasses, and he was a little bit chubby,
Oh.
and Yeah, and he
Oh,
was called Robert.
The Simpsons. Everything's in The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really watch
Mankind
The
is in
Simpsons
The
that much,
Simpsons.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess a lot of stuff's been addressed in The Simpsons way before it happens, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But all the experience he did before that, also he did other experiences with a group of people, trying to make things appear like with only with their thoughts, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And he put people in the same room, make them listen to all the same things, like and then they tried to make like a star appear or something. So and they have achieved it, you know, but only the people that were in that room could see that thing, nobody else. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but they tried. Really, it's really interesting, all the experiments that they did in the 70s with all of this without
Yeah.
drugs, you know,
A
because
lot
they
of ESP experiences and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We used the Richie Rich comic book thumbnail for our one show, Who Controls the Narrative. Remember, Shapu, where they had the controls and they got the volcano in the background?
Yeah.
Down the Twin Towers. Because, and they're showing you in there that they control volcanoes. Why would they have that in there if they were, it's, you know, who controls it?
Yes.
But on that note, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. I think this was a really fun show. I just had a great time.
I did too. It was
Yes.
great. Shapu has so many stories. I can't believe it.
You know, I don't tell anyone these stories, you know.
Yeah. They were great. I'm glad you're still here. Good
Right?
grief.
Yeah, I'm glad also.
You're for a reason, Shapu. You
Yeah.
gotta still fulfill whatever it is you're fulfilling here. So
that's right.
Yeah. I'm not ready to go meet the maker yet.
Not yet.
No, give me another like 800 years, you know.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, my goal is to achieve 1,000. But
Wow.
you know, I put my bar really high.
Really
so,
high.
so I don't get like fake things. So yeah.
All right, guys. So I have the links below for the Meltology 101 meetup at Mount Chiha, April 1st and 2nd. They're in the description below. We're going to get out of here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And I'm going to promo the video here for the meetup, and details, like I said, all the links are in the description below, and the Facebook event page for this meetup as well. Patty's going to be there.
Yep.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Steffi's going to be there. We got cabins up there,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a really good time. I hope to see a lot of people there. And I love you guys.
People, in the chat's gonna be there. Ruckus, Johnny, Johnny Cool.
Yeah, Johnny's gonna come. Yeah.
Yep.
Mark.
Sunday.
Yeah. It's gonna be a nice
Awesome.
party. I'm so jealous I cannot go.
I wish you could
I
come.
know.
I
Great
know.
if you could come over, Shapu. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's somebody knows like a tunnel I can go through, you know?
Or a
right,
time machine.
Or time
Yeah,
machine.
a time machine would be good. Or yeah.
You need a spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, you just astro travel to the event. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Find a scuba.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know, I won't be able to
Take
interact
some
with you.
ayahuasca.
I know.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I love you. We're out of here. Let
I
it
love you
not
all.
be said.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I love you, girl. Let it not be
See you
said that we
soon.
stood
I can
by-
literally say it. See you soon in about a month. All
Oh
right.
yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see each other soon. I'm gonna be hugging the shit out of you.
Me too.
All right, guys. Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you, and we're out of here.